Cool. Session 10. Let me get my notes up. There we are. So, you guys ride back to Lothain with the victorious army from the sodden fields of the southern marshes, and there is a jovial atmosphere in Lothain and the army itself. The army's taken heavy losses, as any army does when it's in a sort of fight to the death, as they were. But people are generally very, very happy, and the threat does seem to have passed. The Falkeer do not seem to be in the Lothain Valley. You're not getting any more reports in. You guys are with Androcles, who is bobbing around in his he's been bobbing around in his seat. So is anyone riding with him, pilot and navigator, or are you just laying him over a mule and just dragging him in?
On the donkey.
It's on the donkey. So you just hog tying him and pulling him over.
The donkey didn't come to war.
No, I could. We could have him draped over his saddle and one of us leading his horse.
Okay, cool. So you guys are going back to Lothain, and as you come in through the city gates, people are cheering, and people are extremely happy with what's going with the fact that you've won the battle, and a lot of people are getting slaps on the back. Everyone's getting slaps on the back, and then when it comes to Androcles, they all just slap his arse as he's over the horse, and they just carry on down the line. You take him to your inn that you said you're going to take him to, and as you pull him off the horse, and Nameless, you just flop him down on a bench. I was like, are you going to put something behind his head, or are you just going to leave him?
No. He likes a bench.
Okay. So he lies there. Nameless, as you see his skin, all down the right-hand side of his arm. Oh, which arm did you pick it up with? It was the left, wasn't it, when I asked?
Yeah.
So all down the left-hand side of his arm, there is what looks like ice, like icicles, running all the way up his arm. It's a heavily muscled arm, all the way into his shoulder. And they pass his shoulder, they go up his neck, and they cover a little bit of his face as well. And it looks like scarring, looks like burn scars, but cold. And to the touch, you can hardly touch them. It's freezing, sub-zero. Sort of like dry ice, sort of like that. So there's a little bit of cold hoarfrost smoke coming off as well. And he seems to be mumbling quite a lot.
When we went to the tavern, Arden would have asked the innkeeper to start drawing a hot bath and get out blankets and things. Just even though it looks like the damage is pretty much done, she doesn't know if it'll keep spreading.
What did you say, Lochnear, before that?
At least he's alive.
Very true. So the barman looks over and says, "Are you all going to be staying here tonight as well? Because my wall still is, well." And you look over and there's a Androcles and Nameless shaped hole in the wall, and he's.
I mean, you don't need to worry, given that Androcles is unconscious again. So, yeah.
Did you win this time?
Won last time.
Oh, okay. Right. And he sees the look in your eyes and he just goes, Yep, you did.
Not going to argue.
It was good. It was good. Yeah, you trounced him. It was really, really good. Really good. And he clicks his fingers and a boy runs out to go and run him a bath. And who's going to put him in the bath? That's the point.
I think Arden should strip him naked and put him in the bath.
Yeah.
I think someone who's strong enough, or let's get higher.
Into the bath.
Let the boy do
it. He can't lift him up. The barman just shrugs and says, "You could just draw straws." I mean,
Androcles is a big boy. He's they don't have people big enough to carry.
Or if you paid the boy and myself, we would do it for you, of course. But,
I'll just put him in the bath, please.
You're going to strip him and just throw him in.
Yeah.
Roll a mic check for me. Lower the better.
Oh, really? Okay. Lower the better. Nice.
Yeah, okay, so you just flop him down into the bath. So, yeah, you just flop him down in there. The water...
First time Lothain's seen him without his armor on, actually.
Yeah. So, you can see in the water, it's piping hot, but around his left arm and his, all the scarring, the water freezes, or at least goes slushy, and starts spreading throughout the water. So you're getting a definite sense that if you leave him in here for like an hour, he'll be basically a popsicle in this water.
Right. Okay. Is it just around his arm?
Just around his arm, but is spreading. Like the water's getting colder, and it is spreading. Lothain, you can see that the also the birthmark that's on his chest as well. That is something you can see. It's a raven screaming with tentacles coming out of its mouth. Not a pretty sight.
You've not seen that Androcles has the same one as you.
Oh, is this different to mine? Is it?
That was the same one, exactly the same.
It's the same one.
But you've not seen it before because he doesn't wander around naked.
Oh, I see. Yes. Sorry, yeah. Okay. I think we need more hot water. We'll just keep the hot water up for a bit and see if that makes a difference.
Keep topping him up.
Yes, basically.
I see. You flick the kid a copper piece, like give him the instructions. And he nods. He's never seen this much money in his life. He's like, "Oh my god, I yes." And he runs, gets more water, and starts pouring it in. Cool. So, Androcles, after a few hours of this, you're having very strange lucid dreams. Thankfully, there are no tentacles. Okay, there is no monster rising from water. It's just pain, right? Searing, horrid, maddening pain all down your left side. And what you can see of yourself is that your body is melted away. And so while there's surface scarring on the body, on the soul underneath, it's also scarred. Even worse on the left-hand side, wherever you've picked this thing up. And you keep replaying the image of you picking up the staff over and over and over again, and it just burning into your skin, burning into your soul, essentially. And it seems like you're there for hundreds of years. It seems like you're there for a long time. And eventually, your eyes snap open, and the boy looking down into your eyes sees. Your eyes are brown, are they not? Are they brown?
They are brown, yeah.
So your right eye is brown, your left eye is a piercing blue-white. That is, it's almost like shimmering.
Well, I don't know this yet, so I'm just gonna kind of assume everything's normal.
Well, you're in a bath and you're naked. And you didn't...
Boy staring at you.
With a boy staring at you. So this isn't the most normal situation you've ever been in your entire life.
Probably not the weirdest situation, but yes, not normal.
And you're in excruciating pain. On your left-hand side.
I think you just kind of wake up, like, shouting. And just kind of, like, floundering since he's not expecting to be in a bath.
Yeah, cool. So the boy comes racing back out into the living quarters of the inn. And tells all of you that Androcles is indeed awake. But you can actually hear him screaming and shouting from the other room. So,
Queen.
At the screaming, Arden would probably get up and start heading upstairs and gesture for Lothain and Nameless too as well.
I mean, I'll reluctantly go, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Don't really want to see him naked.
Androcles, are you trying to get out the bath? Are you getting out? I
think once he figures out where he is and what he's doing, he'd probably try to get out the bath.
So the left-hand side of you has frozen the water and frozen it to the side of the bath. So you can't quite you know, but the pain is subsiding. It's going away. It's fading. And as you can see on your skin, there is a luminescent cyan light coming from underneath the broken skin. And as it fades, the pain starts to fade as well. So Gorthin he's on his way, but he is an old man, so he's not going to be there momentarily. So what's going on?
Everything all right? We heard you screaming.
Because he's gonna kind of look around, like he's still not 100% sure what's going on. And he's just gonna kind of like look at you guys, and then look at his arm that's not still frozen in the water, and just
want us to smash him out of it. I mean, I'm quite happy to smash the ice. Don't know what it'll do to your arm, but
he's just kind of still figuring it. He's like, let's wait.
Okay. Well, it's an open offer.
Could we carve it out? Like the ice around it?
Androcles, do a perception check for me. Cool. You can actually control this ice. You can make it melt. You can feel like you can melt just by clenching your fist and pulsing whatever power you have in you through your arm. You think you can actually get rid of this ice and pull your arm free.
Androcles is gonna kind of like put a hand up, just kind of like hold on a second, and then he's just gonna kind of close his eyes for a minute, and then he's gonna try to do that because he's not quite sure what he's doing yet.
The staff broke. No way. Okay, so you slowly lift your arm up the water, and icicles just drift up off your skin, and you feel like you can. You touch it to the side of the bath, and nothing happens. It just clinks. It's quite solid. Feels heavier. Feels stronger, and you feel stronger actually. Like your limbs feel more energized. You feel pretty good. You're not feeling that bad.
So his arm's not currently freezing things.
No, but what you feel as soon as you think that, it starts to flare up again, and as soon as you stop thinking it, it goes away.
It's like thinking warm thoughts.
Yeah, especially when you're doing certain things. Yes.
So
yeah,
that's good. So he's going to slowly get dressed and use his left arm as little as possible.
Okay.
When he's getting dressed, while everyone's just kind of, I guess, standing there. Are
As
you guys
this is
going to leave
happening,
as a
Arden turns her back, but she just like kind of says over her shoulder to Androcles, "You just had to touch it. You had to touch it. There was a glowing wizard's staff, and you had to touch it."
Androcles is going to shake his head, and he's still sounding a little like shaken, but he's like, I figured we needed to bring it to Gothan. Or Gorthin. Yeah.
Touch it with your bare hands. Great. Just hope Gorthin can sort this out.
Gorthin just pokes his head around the corner and looks and goes, "No, he's fucked."
Androcles is just going to look straight at him like, okay, thanks.
He just shakes his head and says, "Fire magic, my dear, fire magic. Nothing I can do about that. What about this?" And he points towards the. He seems a lot more lucid, by the way. Like the cloud has gone out of his eyes a lot. He says, "What about this? Screams fire to you. I could try."
You also are a seer, aren't you?
He said, "Yeah, I can see certain pieces of the future, and I can light candles without touching them. That's pretty much the extent of what I can do." You know that's a lie because you've seen him flamethrower things out of his hands.
Yeah. I don't know if you can call the buildings that you set on fire candles. That's kind of a stretch.
Semantics. He shrugs. Says, I can give this a go if you wish. I can give it a go. And then he comes over and tries to put his hand on your arm.
And he's just gonna do that whole thing where you're like holding something, like when when kids are getting a shot and they like move as far away as possible from that limb and like turn away but don't quite close their eyes. You know that. That whole thing. That's exactly what he's doing.
Okay. So he puts his hand on your arm, and to everyone else, he basically flamethrowers this arm to the point where it should be nothing but charred cinders, and you know that. Androcles should be screaming in pain and/or pulling away, but Androcles he's sitting there like he's sitting next to a log fire. He's not looking at it, and all he can see is your aghast faces looking at Gorthin pummeling the left side of his body with flame, and nothing's happening. And then Gorthin lets his arm go and goes, "No, fucked."
Cool. Do we put him out of his misery then?
If it starts growing, I would recommend that. Yes.
Cool. Dibs on that.
He's gonna kind of take a step back from me, like, let's not get hasty.
Arden's gonna shoot Nameless a dirty look.
Says, whatever you do, he said to Androcles, he says, whatever you do, if you're looking for a last minute, relief, I would use the other hand, just as a proviso.
Androcles it takes a second to actually get what he's talking about, and then he's just gonna kind of look at him. Let's just kind of shake his head, and then I guess he's now finished getting dressed, because I don't think he'd gotten his his trousers on pants on, but he hadn't gotten his shirt on.
Okay, so.
Gorthin, have you? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Even though that's what Gorthin said, Androcles, you're not panicking that much. You know you can control it. Because it does start growing up your shoulder, and you panic a bit and look at it, and it goes away again. So...
Yeah. He's just kind of after he gets dressed and kind of sorting himself out, he kind of is flexing his arm a little bit, testing it out, just kind of seeing how it's doing.
It's fine, yeah. Yeah. You can feel it like a normal arm. It doesn't really feel any different to you. Every time a pulse of cyan light goes through it, which comes from you because you're thinking about using the arm, there's a little bit of a dull ache, but that's pretty much it. And the ice does grow a little bit around it, but then it recedes again. So it seems to be stable. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
Yeah. So he's just gonna dress up and his usual armor and clothing kind of covers up his arms for the most part. It just really leaves his just a bit past his wrist and his hands open.
So at the doorway of the bathroom, there's a knock, and there is a man there in a hooded robe, and he has a surcoat on with a stag's head of Lothain on it, and he says, "Hello, I'm Adalbert. Did you receive my message, my letter?" Fucking should have done, because I took ages writing it and I sent it to you. Yeah. So it's there somewhere. It should be in the chat somewhere. I jest. It didn't take me ages. It took me about 5 minutes, but still.
Was this on Facebook?
Yes. Yeah, the letters.
Oh right, I thought they were the letters that we skim read.
Oh, there are.
So did I.
Those are those letters, but you did get another letter.
Okay, right. So I didn't see that.
Oh my god. Right, yeah, I'll send it again. My god. Just have children. It'll be easier. More children. More children, as the case may be.
The one with the breakdown and such?
Yes. The one. Remember, Mike, when you were saying I didn't realise I'd have to be bloody. Doing that stuff.
That letter. Yes, I remember that letter.
Oh no, I did read that. Yeah, I do remember.
Androcles hasn't read that though.
No, Androcles is not aware of that letter. So everyone else should be aware of that letter, though. If you do not have that letter, then I will send it again now.
Yeah, I found it. It's
Just the
right by
Lothain
the
Valley
map.
letter?
Lothain Valley
Yeah,
letter.
right by
That's
the
the one.
map.
Yeah, I have that.
So as you can tell, that is a. It was a letter, inviting you to a council. A council. I don't know who Fred Willard is. Yeah, it's inviting you to a council of the Lothain Valley. So just to divide the spoils, pretty much. That's today. So Adalbert just nods and says, I'll be accompanying you to your lands after you're affirmed, of course, at the council meeting. I assume whatever business is going on here, and he looks into the room where Androcles is like, he's got like one leg in his trousers and he's just hopping up and down trying to get the other one on, is concluded.
Yeah, you had to pay for this show, so...
Oh, I see. I apologise.
10 copper bits, I think, please.
I apologise. And then he says, well, if I don't stay, do I still need to pay?
Yes, because you've already seen the goods.
Oh, no, I haven't. He's not...
Androcles is gonna just, like, turn away and just shake his head. I hate these people so much right now.
You were the one that started modelling.
He shrugs and says, isn't this the strapping fellow who was working for the young Tyro?
You mean the clothing model?
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
This was, yeah.
Ah, I heard he was available for hire. And he looks at you, Androcles, with like a diabetic looking at a pencil of insulin. Just.
Androcles is just ignoring him entirely as he finishes getting dressed.
Who is his handler? Does he have one? Or does he speak our tongue?
I don't like to handle him. But I'm happy to take payment for him to do
That's
something.
enough. That's enough.
Oh, all right, he does speak our tongue. He nods and just says, he flicks you 10 copper, nameless, says, well, if you're ever looking to lease him, yeah. And he gives you, like, it's like the medieval version of a card. It just has, like, an address to send letters to and things like that. I'm always, I have my own priory, and yes. Anyway, we should probably get going.
Cool.
Yes.
Are we going to this council,
Yes.
are we? Let's go.
Cool. So, let's fast forward. So, Androcles, you are now dressed. And are you covering up the left arm, or are you leaving it to...
His clothing pretty much, because he does cover up most of his forearms in general.
Mm.
He would definitely also try to find like a glove or something to cover up the left hand for now.
Okay, cool. So,
If you could have a pair of gloves, that would be ideal, but at the very least.
cool.
It's going to do it, Michael Jackson.
Yep.
One
I
glove.
suspect it's easier to buy a pair of gloves than it is a glove.
I wish to buy a single glove.
You never know, because you see so many characters from video games and stuff who are only wearing one glove,
Yeah.
The gloves are just so expensive that to go in on a pair with somebody and
Yeah.
only take one glove.
That's
So, you guys make your way to the central keep, the Outlook, as you know what it's called. So, everyone there's pretty happy. There is a. Let me just get another picture up. This isn't what we're looking at now. You guys aren't looking at this, so don't worry. Let me just whack you over to the screen of Lothain. There you go. Nice little marketplace there. But yeah, the actual place itself is celebrating a summer dawn. It's called. It is a festival of May, where people are basically getting ready for the summer, getting ready for the harvest and things like that. And so people are in the street. Everyone seems very, very jovial. You're still getting slaps on the back and things like that. And people are now openly recognizing who you are. A few of you call out your names on an unofficial name of your group. And a few of them throw like coins at you and stuff. But these are only like 1 copper here, 1 copper there. These are poor people. They're very affluent. Again, a few daughters are offered, and things like that. And as you guys make your way up to the Overlook, and at the Overlook you are let in by guards and you're ushered in, and you see a Hearn there, and he's swapped his armor for a doublet and a small diadem. It looks like a wooden diadem. To be honest with you, it doesn't look very opulent at all. But he greets you all and says, "Thank you, Adalbert. You can leave us." Or wait for us inside, actually. And Adalbert bows to you all and marches inside. He says, "Before I take you into the council chamber, I should probably give you the lay of the land, so to speak. You've already been vested as barons, essentially, joint barons of your new barony. I'm sure you've seen the map that I asked Adalbert to give you."
Yes.
All right, so I'm just going to get the map up for my own thing here.
Yeah.
So, before you start this actual... Oh, I'll do it in character. So he says, before we go in, it probably would be good for you to have 5-10 minutes, perhaps, just to go over how you want to adjudicate your new barony, things like that, before you enter. And I can have Adalbert out here to help you out as well. But obviously he's not seen the state of the barony and what's there and what isn't at the moment, so he wouldn't be able to give you any in-depth advice. But I can certainly send him out. You need a few minutes.
Androcles is going to say that would probably be helpful.
He nods and pulls Adalbert back out again. And he says, "Well, I'll see you inside." And he gives you that small curt nod and walks past.
And I'm going to turn towards the others and be like, "What letter is this? What is happening? And how long have I been out?"
3 days from now, I'm wanting to give him a thing.
You've been out for about 4 years.
I'm going to ignore him and then turn to Arden and say, "How long have I been out?"
You've aged.
About 3 days.
Thank you.
We have the letter discusses the conditions for rebuilding our new lands and what rent is owed to the Lord of Lothain.
Would you have had the letter on you, any chance?
I guess we would have, right? Because, I mean, if we're going to the event that's mentioned, we would take the letter.
If I can make a GM adjudication, the one person in the party who would most likely have the letter is probably Arden, to be honest. Because Lochner can't... He can definitely read, but not without being paid. And Androcles only likes to read...
so well.
Nameless only likes to read about spears, so that's...
I'll hand over the letter.
Reading about spears is a strong word for a nameless. Okay, so he'll read it.
Mm-hmm. Commit it all to memory.
He's gonna memorize the whole thing, so he never has to finish. I'm just double checking that there's any words he doesn't actually have to ask about. I don't think there's anything too big. Yeah, there's no real big words on here, so Androcles can read it without help.
Mm-hmm. So before long, Adalbert says, I don't mean to rush you, but we really should be heading inside. I think the other barons are already here.
Okay, so we
we
need to decide some stuff. Yeah, we need to decide stuff before we head in, right?
Okay, yeah. It depends what you want to decide. I'm not going to... I will answer questions, but I'm not going to prod you or push you in any direction.
Yeah.
So is one of the main things that and this is to the others as we're deciding what to do. We're eventually so are we going to use this for our mercenary company? The Bowery will be the new training grounds and housing. We'll build that up and eventually help rebuild the town of Brindle.
Yeah, and the highest floor I want as my own bachelor pad and harem. Thank you. It's of vital importance.
Arden will just say, perhaps we add a house for your bear next to the Bowery after we get everything built first.
I want my penthouse, but yeah, sure.
The thing is, it's cold and wet up there. The roof is all doing and everything.
That's true.
Well, we will have to resolve that with, I don't know, some kind of expensive roofing.
I suppose.
I'm going to turn towards the. Sorry, what was the name of the tenant who's helping us?
Adalbert. Yeah.
So I'm going to turn. Androcles is going to turn towards Adalbert and just kind of, what exactly should we have kind of decided on before we head into this meeting? You seem to know more about what's going on than we do.
Well, to be honest with you, I assume a lot of this will be hammered out in the meeting with the other barons, but beforehand, if an adjudication of who's doing what within the barony would be very good. And obviously, we're not going to be doing any taxation just yet until I see what I need to tax. And it'll be up to you how much you tax your people. But at the same time, this is all about you understanding what you have and where, and what's of value in your lands and where. So if we look at the map here, where would you say, is there anything that you say you would ask for in the meeting beyond what you've already been given? Or, can you guarantee that you would be able to ship timber, for instance? Is there any mining operations in your lands that you know of? Are there any towns that can be rebuilt? Is there any, what's the local produce like? Things like that.
I just kind of turn to the others. It's like, sorry, Justine. I remember when we were talking about the castle before, is that the map was slightly off and the Bowery is actually up against the water?
It is, yes.
So we would be in control of more of the water, I imagine, right?
Yes, definitely.
And it doesn't look like anyone is taking care of the Dead Thane Gorge. Or Fletcher's Watch, so...
Fletcher's Watch needs to be rebuilt.
And as does Brindle.
Yeah, Fletcher's Watch isn't technically in your lands, but you can ask for it to be in your lands. Brindle's just about in your lands, and people may dispute it being in your lands. Because it's just about...
I think we just ask for it to be in the land, since it's already destroyed. And we were the ones who, saved its people.
Mm-hmm.
And if we pay to rebuild it, then we'd want it in our lands.
Reasonable. Okay. So at this point, Adalbert really says, I really must insist that we go inside now. It's any more will be insulting to people who have arrived.
Do we need to dress Androcles up in any kind of fancy Greek god armor or anything?
Androcles is just going to push past him.
And just walk in.
Yeah.
So as you walk in, Androcles, you can see in the actual meeting room itself, there are several people. Okay, so there are 4 people sitting down at a round table. Round tables are very common in rulership and councils in Albion, and even in the Falcon Kingdoms. It's mainly an Arthurian influence, because the main round table is, of course, in Camelot. So other people have copied that, as they are wont to do. The first person is sitting with steepled fingers, and he's around 40 years of age, so he's quite old for this setting. He has greying salt and pepper hair and close cropped beard, and he wears an earring in his left ear, big gold earring. And he looks at you like a really bad smell has just come into the room. And he's wearing a maroon red surcoat with a bridge on it. Okay. The second man that you see is Ahern, and he's sitting at the top of the table, at the head of the table. And he is as he was before, so he's wearing his family colours, his greens. There is another man of around 40 years of age, so he's got salt and pepper hair as well, looks pretty old. He's actually wearing a suit of iron armor, so this is knightly iron armor, with a few tartan things woven in and out of it as well. And on his surcoat, you can see a dragon falling downwards from a tower. And so he's there with folded arms, and he's glaring at another man on the other side of the table. Now, this last man is around 32, in his early 30s, so in the prime of his life, and he's very well built, and he's sitting backwards with his legs crisscrossed on the table, and he's using a paring knife to get stuff out of his nails, basically. And he seems like he's really, really, really focusing on that. He's not wearing any surcoat. He's wearing ranger armor, so dark greens, camo sort of style. And he's flicking bits that he's finding in his nails onto the table and then resuming what he's doing. And the rest of you arrive and take in a similar scene behind Androcles. And Ahern gestures to 4 empty seats that are on one side of the table.
Androcles will sit.
So will Arden.
Sure.
I was half expecting Nameless to be like, "There's no deal," and just turns the table over. Okay, so
That might happen later.
yeah. So Ahern sits forward and says, "So a great victory has been had against the Falkeer. They are no longer here. They are no longer around. I need to thank everybody here for sending troops to the battle, even you, Godfrey." And he gestures to the man wearing the maroon red, who's looking at you all like you've just stabbed his puppy and then ran off. Godfrey stops steepling his fingers and looks down to the table at you all and says, "I cannot put my seal to your barony taking place near my lands, because the Grailwood, by all rights, is mine." And he nods his head and says, "My father ruled Calebridge, and he was killed by the Falkeer whilst I was fighting in Francia. I returned home to rebuild Calebridge, only to find that lands that should be mine are given over to Outlanders. Even your name's an insult. I demand the return of the Grailwood, and then I will put my seal to your right as barons of your barony. I need the wood to rebuild my town and its holdings."
Wouldn't even have that land if it wasn't for us, so no deal.
No one here would have their lands if it wasn't for us.
Ahern looks pleased by your response, but no one else speaks.
We're
I guess
happy
that's
to help
the
you
fight.
rebuild the town. To rebuild your town and work with Calebridge.
Yes, you're happy to
Trade.
send troops into my town to rebuild Calebridge. Yes, I understand how your form of diplomacy, and he put it in inverted quotes, works. Of you marching into towns, offering to help, only to then subtly take them over from within. Yes, we've all heard reports of how you solve problems, dead
What
mares and
town
such.
did we? Androcles going to cut him off. It's like, and what towns have we taken over?
A Brindle for one.
Before
Before it was destroyed under your watch, I might add.
We turned
we left the city in control of Shen, the captain of the guard.
And now she passes blame. And he looks over to Ahern and says, "You cannot mean to tell me that these are the types of people who will be joining our ranks." And Ahern just nods and says, "Well, unlike certain other barons at this table, they've earned their place through blood and sweat, rather than birthright." And Godfrey looks at him with eyes ablaze, and just shakes his head and says, "I will not be party to this. We can negotiate, perhaps, but I need Grailwood. I cannot leave empty-handed."
It's a shame.
So, I would say like the silences that we're doing, they'll be like 1 second silences in the actual game. So
Yeah, there's going to be talking.
Yeah, you all got to think. I understand that. Yeah, it's all cool. Not what you're gonna be coming back
More
with.
quickly.
Yeah. So
Well,
the man with the falling dragon on his surcoat sits forward and says, "I have another issue. Not with the Outlanders, though. I think they've done good work over the past couple of months." He says, "No, my issue is with another new addition to our ranks." And he looks over to the man who is cleaning his nails and with his legs crossed on his heels crossed on the table. And he says, "Carver is a leader of brigands. He's been sending brigands into my lands to raid. It's ridiculous. He needs to stop." And Carver, the other man who's cleaning his nails, just shrugs and says, "My people are my people. They do what they wish. I'm just there to make sure that they're safe. You know, if they have the strength to take what's yours, perhaps you should look to training your own men better." And at that point, Eldon goes to stand up in outrage, and Ahern just lifts her hand and says, "Sit. Enough of this. What are they going to think? You know, they've only just joined our ranks. We're already at each other's throats. This is peacetime, would you believe?" And he just shrugs and says, "First, the Grailwood. Have you come up with a compromise?" And he looks to you guys.
I don't do compromises.
And
So what compromise there is? We were offered it. We have the legal document here, all signed and ratified. No compromise to be had. Where were you during the fight? We were there. We were fighting. We earned this.
I had to win for herself. I did not. And just to add a character, Dean. Were his troops on that battlefield?
Yes, they were. Yeah, he wasn't.
But he wasn't.
No.
And so Androcles will look to him. It's maybe if you had been there yourself, you might have been able to help with that small matter.
He seems angry but doesn't say anything. And Ahern says, "They may be trying to goad you, Godfrey, but they do have a point. Maybe a trade is in order." And he says, "I have nothing that is worth anything like the Grailwood." He said, "Perhaps not the Grailwood, but what's in it? What do you need?" And Godfrey just nods and he talks to his Chancellor, who's standing behind him, and they whisper in each other's ears. And he says, comes forward and he says, "If you can guarantee me a shipment of, let's say, 30 chopped trees a month for fair pay, I'm willing to let this slide."
I'll look towards
30 a month. Wouldn't that deplete the Grailwood?
You think it would in like 10 years, yes. Yeah, the Grailwood would be a lot smaller in 10 years.
I mean, Androcles is going to kind of not like blatantly look, but just kind of keep an eye on Ahern to see what he, how he's reacting to this guy's terms. But he doesn't really have much of a mind for politics. So
roll a perception check for me. An 18 plus 3, 21. Okay. Yeah, you're confident that you're seeing the actual, the make of the man sort of thing. And Ahern is showing nothing. He's completely impassive. He's not. This is you're getting the sense this is a canny, shrewd operator. This is a political operator right here. He's been trained well to be a lord. And so he's not giving anything away. He does look to you though, all, and says, "Adalbert, would you act as their not interpreter, their helper here?" And Adalbert walks over and to you, Lochner. He says, "Since you're the one who wrote the terms for the letter quite eloquently, I will give this information to you. This is a fairly steep offer in his favour. 30 is a lot. depending on what he's willing to pay.
Can Arden pipe in?
Sure.
Yeah, she knows more about trees than I do.
It doesn't matter what he's willing to pay. The Grailwood will be so depleted with 30 a month.
Okay. So
We can't take that offer.
We need that wood to rebuild Brindle, to rebuild, Fletcher's Watch. And they're not even on our lands, but we'll donate the wood. How's this then? All the places that have been attacked. Hold on, let me just out of character quickly.
There's been a lot of attacks in the various different.
Yeah, like pretty much everywhere.
Dragon Cross was burned, from what I understand.
Yeah.
So was Rowan.
Yeah.
And Brindle and Grailcross were all burned, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but we've got the Frosthold Mines, and we've got your approach woodlands, and we've got the railroad.
Technically, we don't own the door approach.
No, not we. No, not we. I mean, in the area.
Yeah.
We will contribute freely 1/3 of the wood necessary to rebuild the places that were attacked. Everybody else contributes 1/3 as well. What's that?
Godfrey just scoffs and says, "I have no trees suitable on my land," and I'm sure Carver has no trees on his land either. And Carver just shrugs and goes and says, "I'll take them from Dragonfall Cross. It's fine." To which
you have stone, do you not?
What I'm saying, Godfrey, mate, is you don't need to do anything. We own the Grailwood. We'll donate 1/3 of it. You can sit back and watch us rebuild it if you like, or lend some men to help rebuild it. But the actual raw materials, by Woodlands, whoever owns those, contribute. Then I think that's fair payment for us having the Grailwood and the Bowery and all that land around.
Just out of character, do you mean that you're going to donate 1/3 of it and then sell the other 2/3?
No. Wood that gets harvested and taken from the Grailwood as actual woodland, because it's a managed woodland, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're managing the wood. Our output, whatever's needed to rebuild all the nearby towns and villages, will contribute 1/3 over however long it takes us to produce 1/3.
Yes.
While still keeping the woodland managed.
Sort of like a dole payment, but with wood.
Yeah. So basically, the village has got to be rebuilt. We'll effectively pay for 1/3 of the rebuilding with our wood.
Godfrey nods and says, You'll be needing.
You don't have to do anything, Godfrey.
You'll be needing stone to rebuild Brindle, will you not?
Undoubtedly. And if you sit on a few quarries, that would be great for you to contribute as well.
He nods and says, "Well, my land is pockmarked with quarries." And he turns to his chancellor again, and they talk. And Adalbert comes down to Arden and you Lochnear and says, "Stone is worth more than trees in the current climate, just as an aside. Trees can be regrown. Quarries, once depleted, well." And
but the Grail Woods also house animals and access to hunting and other food resources.
he says, "Good point. Good point." I would say
I'm not saying, you providing 100 tons of stone, we provide 100 tons of wood, and therefore we'll be chucking, in less. What I'm saying is, whatever is necessary to rebuild these towns and villages, we will contribute freely to get it done. The actual, the numbers we can leave up to the people who deal with numbers to figure out exactly how much all that is. That's not important right now. What we need to do is agree on this.
He nods and says, "I can agree on one condition, that your fishermen are allowed to fish at Kel's Bridge. We have the best fish. We have the best places to fish on our forked plain here. But my hunters are allowed to hunt in the Grailwood at will." It is the most verdant in terms of livestock that we have.
Yeah, I think it's reasonable.
Well, we
as long
can't.
as,
We
you
can't
know,
have. I don't think we could have an entire barony hunting at will in the Grailwood. There would have to be some restrictions.
Well, those are my terms. I mean, you
No,
may
like certain hunting seasons, things like that. So that all
hunting
the sources
parties,
aren't
for instance. Yes, we will send
a
in.
certain amount of managed output. Yes, absolutely.
He says we'll get something drawn up. But as far as this is concerned, I'm willing to waive this point and put my seal to their barony. And Ahern nods and says, "Okay, right, cool, excellent." And he looks over to Carver and Eldon and says, "Now, what about you two?" And Carver just holds up his hand and says, "Right, fine. Look, if it makes you any, if you chuck a bit of gold my way, and I'll send my people elsewhere. How's that?" And Eldon just shrugs and says, "You can do the specifics after this meeting, but for now, I'm happy to proceed." And they all nod together. Okay. And Ahern says, "I have had a messenger over the past hour before we entered this august meeting. Messenger from the Falkeer. He's invited a representative of the Lothain Valley to their Great Moot in 3 days' time."
By the way, at the mention of a messenger from the Falkeer, Angel is gonna kind of like tense and like grip the table, and I imagine because he's got his weird ice arm, it's gonna be a little bit of frost on the table and on his gloves.
Yeah. The guys at the meeting are generally quite. Let me just roll some. I'll roll some thingies here. One second.
Or at least as much as to mention the Falkeer as to mention the Great Moot, I think is what sets him off edge.
So Carver is the only one who sees. He's the only one who sees, and he generally just says, "You all right, mate? I think you've got some."
He's gonna just kind of he's gonna kind of dust off his hand and put it under the table, and just, you know. But until I build myself an ice castle, I'm not going full Elsa. All right.
Carver just shrugs and goes, "Each to their own, I guess. But I'm not going to the Falkeer. You can sod that off for a laugh. And if I leave Eldon here, you'll end up raiding my lands in return. So." And Eldon says, "Yeah, and if I leave my lands, Carver's going to cross and take everything that I have, and I'll come back and I'll have no barony left." And Ahern looks to Godfrey and he just shrugs and says, "You know how much rebuilding I have to do."
And Chliz is gonna just say, like, we have Brindle and Fletcher's watch to rebuild, not to mention mostly rebuilding the Bowery itself.
Adalbert nods and says, "Yes, I can help you adjudicate that once I've seen the lands and how much we can tax. We have 3 days. No one needs to go anywhere unless you feel that you want answers to what's been going on. But I do feel that the Falkeer will return if we don't send someone." And he looks over to you, Lochner, and says, "What about you? You're from there, aren't you?"
I've been back for a while, though.
So they wouldn't listen to you?
They might do. Leave under any cloud, but yeah.
He nods and says, "I believe, sir," he turns to Ahern and says, "a compromise needs to be reached. If we were expecting the Outlanders to take on risks on our behalf, it would be unsavoury for them to do so without proper compensation." And Ahern nods and says, "Mercenaries, right, I forgot, sorry." He turns around and says, "Alright. Give me 1 second, because I have this in my notes. Love me some notes." So, he leans forward and says, I suggest each baron here pays the Outlanders 500 gold pieces for a single trip to the Falcon Kingdoms. Where is this meeting again? And Adalbert nods and says, Baldur's Bay, sir. So not in the Falcon Kingdoms, just very much north of here, in the northern islands. And he nods and says, okay, yes. So, 500 from each of us. That should tide you over for a long time as well. In rebuilding and paying for your men. Go. Treat with the king of the Falcon Kingdoms, if there is one. And report back. Tell us what they say. If they offer terms.
How do we know that you won't try to take the Grailwood while we're gone? And she's gonna look at Godfrey.
And Godfrey says, as much as I loathe to admit it, I don't have the men to take the Grailwood, which is why I've tried to take them in a rightful piece of diplomacy. But we've come to an agreement.
I guess if everyone here signs a peace treaty that states no one shall attack our lands while we're gone on this mission, on behalf of the entire Lothain Valley.
I heard nods and says, perhaps Scribe Lochner would be good enough to write up a contract that we can all put our names to and our seals to.
Yes, absolutely.
So he nods and says, well, I'll bring in some wine and we can toast to the future. And
Androcles is going to suggest to Lochner that contract applies to any mission that we undertake on behalf of the valley.
That makes sense.
And that if any other barony breaks it, we have full rights to invade.
I think that if any barony breaks it, the other four
A little bit
should
aggressive.
work. I think that the other four should all work together to punish the one person. It should be everyone together against whoever breaks that peace.
That's my wife. America! Fuck yeah! Just going in there and like...
And possibly end up and the other four could possibly divide up the lands of that barony that instigated.
Okay, so what we can do is... We got through that pretty quickly, so what we can do is head to back home. We can actually go back to very quickly to the Bowery. So if you're all ready to leave, I'm sure, like John, you don't have to do that right now. I'm assuming we can do that whenever you feel like you've got 5 minutes. Or I could do it.
We can do it. We can do it when we chat about my background.
Yeah, cool.
We'll talk about it then.
Cool. Make a note and I'll bring it up. So you guys...
One thing, on the ride back, Androcles will kind of press the point that going to this moot is a really bad idea. He's just kind of he's not giving specific reasons, but he's like, they can't be trusted, blah blah blah, stuff like that.
Does this have anything to do with you being called Agnar?
He was hoping that you guys would kind of let that go, but he's going to look at them and he's going to give a really hard look and say, yes. It has everything to do with that.
Okay, well, I think we need some explaining done, don't we?
Sorry, just
why...
out of character, Dean.
Yes.
His kind of experience, it's not really an outlier. It's something that happens in...
It happens quite a lot. Yeah, it happens quite a lot. In fact, children of slaves brought in are generally considered Falkeer. They're not really looked down upon as such. Because they need fighting men and women, so they don't really care. There is a bit of prejudice there, but mostly no. You know that if anyone saw you because you're supposed to do something for the Falkeer and you didn't. So if anyone saw you, they would probably be pissed at you, but they whether they would attack you or not, you're not really certain. Especially not with your size and your new glowing arm. You know.
Well, the glowing arm thing he's kind of keeping under wraps, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
But so Androcles is gonna kind of, like I imagine this is pretty much as soon as we're out the gates, Androcles would have brought that up. So I think at this point, just if nothing else, Androcles, to help kind of push Androcles' point of not going, he's gonna kind of explain to them where he comes from. So I'll give you guys a kind of a summary. But basically, Androcles was born to a slave captured on a raid by the Falkeer. So he's half Falkeer. And he was trained to go in, from basically the time he could walk, to fight and to go into Achaia, the Achaean lands, and act as a subversive in much the same way that the mayor was sent in. To kind of live among them until the time came for him to turn on the Achaean people and basically hand whatever lands he could over to the Falkeer. And it was pretty rough. It was pretty violent upbringing. Since they wanted, since he was a big Achaean, it wasn't, and he looks like an Achaean. It didn't go, it wasn't a pleasant childhood. So as soon as he was deemed ready, he was sent out with a group of captured slaves, and he was basically, there was a whole ruse where he was made to look as if he had freed those slaves to return with them to Achaia. But as soon as he was out of the Falkeer lands, he abandoned them. He left and fled west, and which is how he ended up out here in the in this area.
You were in Caledon in the end, weren't you? Working for Rhea. Yeah. Yeah.
He fled because he didn't realize just how widespread the Falkeer's sleeper agents were. But so basically he's saying if the Falkeer see him and recognize him, they will likely, at least his tribe will likely come after him for abandoning his duty.
Not when they see us with you, and Arden's gonna flex her arm.
I'm gonna look towards Lothain as a Falkeer. Because, you're kind of...
I'm easy. I left there a long time ago for very similar reasons, just not under a cloud. So, wouldn't worry, you're safe with me.
Has Nameless's smile left his face yet, or is he...
I'm just going to snigger and under my breath say, so you're a traitor.
Only be a traitor if you are ever aligned to those lands. The Falkeer never had my loyalty.
Okay, but you were happy enough to live off their resources and get trained and all of that. That's cool.
Androcles, he's gonna pull up kind of his sleeve and just show, because you guys would have seen it when you were kind of the whole bath situation, but he's basically covered in scars from being cut and beaten. So he's gonna pull up and show his arms. It's there was nothing voluntary about this. There was no, there was no choice. It was that or death.
Nameless, as an Achaean, you don't really have much sympathy for slaves. Well, you do, but these are conquered people, so they're pretty much getting what they deserve, in a sense. You actually had a much like the real life Spartans, you had the Helots, who were elves over there as well. So but so I would guess from what you've said, your character values strength quite a bit and actions rather than words.
Yep.
So and you've already gone over that really with what you've been saying here. So that's pretty cool. So as you guys come into the shadow of the Bowery, you all have that bit of information with you as you cross the gate. And Bjorn and a few other people there. Flissy's there. She runs over to Lochnear and they have a Lift Us Up Where We Belong is playing, and they do all that. And Adalbert, who looks physically ill because he's been travelling for like 2 days, slides off his horse and says, if you wouldn't mind, I will have a night's rest and I will begin adjudicating the barony tomorrow.
Sure you don't want to drink?
He looks round and says, why not? Why not? The people there are genuinely happy to see you guys, and your army has returned as well. You have 70 men left after the battle last time, but these are all hardened veterans now. These guys have been in a few battles. So you have 70 pretty well-armed men who are now bristling on the walls. There's been 12 units of food, so 1 unit of food is consumed a day. So I'm going to write this down just so I can have it on it. So you have 12 units of food brought in. Whoops. Of food, and 1 is a day. And currently you're bringing in half a unit a day. So it's going down, but not too bad. Not too bad. So your rangers, Arden, are doing a pretty good job. You know, they're going into the Grailwood. And food covers food and water as well, so they're not separate things. You don't need to worry about that. In terms of the walls, they still look pretty shoddy. So if we're looking at the over here, they still look pretty, beaten up. There's been a few stones placed in either of the 2 holes, all 3 of them, just so people can't just wander in. But apart from that, you could climb up there pretty easily. It's just that you can't just walk in. And yeah, everyone's here. So Bjorn's here. Everyone generally is walking around. You can see a lot of the people have come back with you as well. So the people went with you to Lothain, didn't they? Quite a few of those. Some of them stayed where they were, but about 100 people have come back with you. So normal civilians have come back with you, and they're now camping outside. There's no room for them inside, so most of them are now camping in tents outside and things like that. It's pretty safe though. Arden, you've been sending scouts up the road as you normally do, and they've come back reporting nothing. Just empty fields essentially. There's no Falkeer around, so you're getting sense they should be pretty safe outside for a couple of nights at least until you get back from the Falkeer Moot itself.
Is the Boer happy to be out here?
Alfred, you mean? Yeah, he's striding around, and he goes over to the blacksmith's nook, and he talks to the blacksmith there, and you can see them having a talk, and he's offering the blacksmith a drink from his flagon, as he's over there, and they look like, when you pass by, they sound like they're discussing theory and how to to do the best bits of iron and steel and work for they're all even discussing putting grates and gates and the broken walls, whether they could rot something together in the meantime, So they come up with some pretty cool ideas. So, yeah, he seems pretty happy. What you guys don't have is someone to look after the day-to-day running of the fortress. You guys are commanders, pretty much. Battlefield commanders, you oversee everything in the entire barony. But Adalbert says, you need someone who can look after, like a castellan, who can look after the castle and just nothing else to make sure it runs better. It runs quite well. Do you have anyone in mind that you might want to give that job to?
Do any of our lieutenants stand out as being pretty skilled at that?
Let's have a look. Let's have a look. I want to have a little look here.
While we were gone.
Educated?
Educated? No. You're fresh out of that. But what you do have, maybe... Let's have a little look, see. Outlander Keep. Forward. Let's have a look. So you have Bjorn, who is a scout, as you know. You have Harlan, who is a veteran, and he's been in quite a few armies over the years. You have Skjor, who's a guy with a massive fuck-off axe. And you have Harlor the Butcher, who is, he's a butcher turned warrior now. Hardly wears any armor, he's got this massive, great big cleaver. So those are your 4 lieutenants at the moment. No one else is really, there's Adalbert as well, but he's not really yours. He's the well,
What about there's also the guy who fought with us on the fields. Did he stay with us? The guy who he had left in charge of the shield wall when we were fighting the Falkeer and fighting Winter.
I believe that was Harlan. So he's still with you, yeah.
Who kind of was in charge of the Bowery while we were gone?
I don't think you... Oh, Flissy, wasn't it?
It was Flissa,
yeah, it's Flissy, yeah. It's Flissy.
Well, maybe we leave her in charge, because it might be better to have someone who's not a warrior running the castle.
Do you say that out loud in front of her?
She was. She is a warrior.
Also a warrior.
No, but it seems that she's able to do the day-to-day stuff as well.
Sure.
Whereas the others
I was going to say, if this was a bloke saying this would be really problematic in this current day and age. But yeah, I understand completely what you're saying.
No, just because like a butcher who can fight. Okay, he doesn't have any real skill in like running things and looking after things, but we've left her in charge of.
No, I think you're right. Before. No, I think you're right. I'm just taking the piss. But yeah,
no. If you said it, I'd be jumping down your throat.
Yeah, it's like
just kidding.
Yeah. So are you going to put that to her, or are you going to let Lochner do that?
I'm all for letting Lochner do it.
Fine. Oh, yeah.
Could do it. She's fairly competent, but we're relatively safe for now, aren't we? I think leaving someone like a butcher who's used to running a shop and actually dealing with day-to-day trivia, sort of, isn't it? Some people handle supplies and things like that. He's really more a sort of fighter. It'd be better off with her actually with us and her sword rather than in the castle.
I just wonder if we need someone more qualified than a butcher.
He does run his own shop.
Whatever happened to? Oh, is Shen dead?
No.
Where is she?
She's with you. She's in the Bowery. She's one of the ones
who's used to running stuff.
Yeah, she'd be perfect.
Shen could probably do it if you wanted to do that.
She was the head of the guard. I mean, and she looked over an entire town, so she would know how to run a keep.
Trader as mayor.
Cool. We could definitely do that.
What do you think, near?
Yeah.
Cool. So Shen's given the job, and she accepts it very graciously, and she says, "Well, I'm slowing down a little bit. I suppose looking after people wouldn't be such a bad thing." And she says, could I get 15 men out of the 70 you brought back, and I can use them as basic Castellan guard. So they guard the walls. They make sure they're basically an in-house police force for the keep. They never leave. They're always here.
Yeah.
It's like a good plan.
Cool. So I'm going to minus those off your... So you had 50... You had 70 minus 15. So 55. 55 left. Nice. But you do have a Castellan guard now. So she picks out her own men. And most of them are people from Brindle that she knows. And she starts like showing them parts of the castle that they need to look out for, things like that. And actually, the guard stations that she posts are here, basically everywhere that's circled. These are where the guard stations are. So this room here, this part of the wall, there's a desk set up there, and like armories and things like that where the guards can stay. And there's a few bunks there as well. So, and she sets up patrols and things. and then start adjudicating the food coming in. I'm going to raise your food per day to 1. So that goes from 0.5 to 1 now. So you're now self-sufficient in terms of food, as long as no more people come into the keep. At the moment, it's pretty much full to bursting, because you have... not full to bursting, but it's livable. It's at the top end of comfortable. Because you have nearly 100 people in here right now. So, yeah, that's that. Are you guys going to retire for the night?
Hell yeah.
Cool. So let's go to Lochnia. Lochnia, what room are you in the keep? If you wanna, you can be upstairs, downstairs, anywhere. You don't need to be in a room if you don't want to be. You can be outside. You can do what you want.
Yeah. So, it's changed.
Yeah, I'm just a little showing you the two.
Bro.
Doesn't matter.
No, I'll be in the room upstairs.
Okay, cool.
The room
Cool.
upstairs. Yeah. Just take me back to the other map. That's it.
Yeah.
So long as you don't have my harem bachelor pad.
Aren't you going in the circle tower for that?
Well, whatever's the highest point.
Yeah, that is the highest thing.
Be in these barracks here.
Cool. So, once you're there, Flissy isn't there, but you can see that there's lots of notes and things of that set around of what she's been making notes of things to do in the castle and all that, and how to fix things up. And when you look out there's like a portcullis window here. You see there is Arden. She's putting arrows into a barrel because she's been practicing, and Flissy walks over to her. You can't hear what they're saying though. And Arden outside, Flissy comes over to you and like taps you on the shoulder.
Okay, I'll turn to her.
He says, I need some advice.
Sure.
She like scratches her head and says, when you're, with Lochnia on the road, what's he like?
Like he always is.
Like when I'm not
Drunk,
around, what's he like?
often naked.
Right.
I don't know what you mean. He's basically the same.
Right.
Yeah, I swear he finds as many excuses to be naked. Anyways.
Yes. Yeah, and she nods and says, "Yeah, I'm getting that as well." Would you say he's a good person?
Yeah, I'd say so. He seems to, stick to his drink. Fun time. If you're wondering about other women, I haven't noticed any, if that's what you mean.
I was getting to that, yes. But then she nods and says, right, yes. Do we have a physician around?
And Arden, being a woman, starts putting 2 and 2 together and just looks at her stomach. Goes,
no, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. But she just says, yes. I have suspicions at the moment. Nothing else. Keep it to yourself. She locks eyes with you, like, in all seriousness, keep it to yourself.
Your secret's safe with me. As for a physician, I'm not sure, but I can ask around.
And cool. So you can ask around. You get that Shen's been a medic. She knows the signs. She's had kids before, things like that. So she's and she takes her away. And Lochnia, when you look down at Arden as she watches Flissy go, she has this like crestfallen look on her face, like she's been slapped, and then she just like whistles and goes back to like, putting her arrows into the barrel and shakes her head, sort of thing. Art imitating life, ladies and gentlemen. We've all been there. No, 2 of us have been there. Right. Next day, Adalbert comes back, and now for the last 20 minutes of this half of the session, I want us to go over what you're going to be taxing. So this is going to be a really cool bit for any enthusiasts of medieval history and things like that, where we're going to be going over. And if you're not, you're going to fucking hate this bit, but I don't care because I love it. What do you think tax? What do you think a good tax rate would be? Adalbert has all the taxes from other places that he can give you as a sort of a range of taxation and what would be pretty cool to do.
It depends on their income.
Mm-hmm. So, the most affluent place in the Lothain Valley is the Crown Lands, is where Lothain is itself. And there you're taxed per month around... They pull in... Because I'm not going household by household, because that would just be ridiculous. But they pull in around, I'd say, 300 gold pieces a month there. So he suggests that he knows the payment that you're giving...
Copper.
Gold. But he knows the payment you're giving back to Lothain is 200 gold a month. So he says you'll probably have to supplement your income with either trade or taking on mercenary contracts or things like that. But his roundabout estimate when he comes back at the end of the day is around 100 gold a month, something like that.
I say we become a communist state. Take everything.
Arden's going to propose a graduated tax system.
Sounds awfully dull. Communism sounds way more in vogue.
Neither of which exist in Scorched Earth, but yeah, okay, that's
100% tax rate, and it all goes into a pot, and everybody benefits.
Is that pot called the harem pot by any chance?
Is
No
somebody
comment.
benefiting more than others?
Mm-hmm.
Arden is just going to walk
yes,
over
it was
and
my
slap
idea.
Amos on the back of his head.
Okay, I guess communism's out then. Okay.
Choose General McCarthy of the room.
Adalbert is saying 100 would be the low end of the scale. Do you know what I mean? So you could probably push it a little bit more, but he does say, like, as new barons, you want some sort of, you want to announce something, whether that's low taxes or rebuilding or something. It's something you want to do.
Well, we definitely need to rebuild, but at the same time, after everything the people have been through, we can't tax them so much that we increase their suffering.
How about higher tax during the rebuild, but working towards the rebuild will help mitigate that? And Androcles uses smaller words than mitigate, but you get the picture.
Adalbert says, because when we're having this discussion, let's pick out a room in the keep that we're going to be having. Is it going to be upstairs or going to be downstairs? What do you think?
Upstairs is more private, so it could be like one of these.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, there are other floors like this. On the northwestern harem tower there with the bits and bobs in it.
Sick, let's meet on the tower.
Yeah, on top of the tower. Cool. So
Take your shoes off. Don't muddy my floor.
up here it's pretty cold. But yeah, it's pretty, it's pretty cold. But you're all standing around, and as you're basically standing around like you see on Soviet films, they're all around the bin fire, like with their arms folded. It's like, all right, yeah, why do we meet up here? And Adalbert just says, "It's a wonderful view from up here," and he's looking around and says, "So 100 gold would be, I would say, eminently reasonable. I think Master Androcles' idea of not charging people as much in terms of taxes if they work, that also could work. That could definitely work. But what about everyone else? What are we thinking? What are you going to rebuild? What has priority?
Brindle, Bowery, Fletcher's Keep, but Brindle I think would be the first priority, so that we can get some people out of the Bowery and get them back to being productive.
Adalbert says, "Need I remind you, you have no walls in the Bowery at the moment, or at least you have 3 walls that have massive, great big holes in them."
Angeles is going to pipe up. I think at the very least, building a secure place, is should be a priority. Because whatever happens at the Moot, chances are the Falkeer will be back. And
Well,
it's
the
all
Grail-
great, and it's all great if we have Brindle rebuilt, just in time for them to come and burn it down again.
You're right.
Maybe we could appease them by selling
Grail
Agnar
would
back to them.
By selling what back to them?
I said maybe we can appease them at the Great Moot by selling Agnar back to them, and then we make a little bit of extra gold as well.
I'm gonna actually punch him for that.
Okay. Mic check, please.
Am I doing a speed check?
You may do a speed check if you wish. Yes.
I'm gonna punch him with my left arm just because I'm angry.
I'll give you a reroll if you want to do either with the left arm. That's fine. And that plus 5 becomes a plus 15.
Ooh, okay.
If you're doing it just lashing out, it's gonna have to be,
this is kind of a piss. Yeah, he's
even
kinda
with that
pissed,
plus
but
15, it's gonna have to be a bloody good roll to beat 18. Yeah, so you're both gonna have to reroll for that. It's too close.
I'm not going to win with plus 15, am I?
Well, you never know. Cool. And that last one, I'm going to give Androcles another roll, just to see how hard the hit is. It connects, but it's not.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's a hit.
Oh.
Juicy hit.
So Nameless is
right
standing
the fuck
there, and then he's not standing there. So what happened is Nameless says this and smiles, and Androcles loses it, turns round, and you know that Street Fighter punch where they punch straight up in the air? That happens. Yeah. That happens, and you see everyone roll a perception roll for me, apart from Nameless, because this is...
That's where he is.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. So Arden, you see Nameless is in the air and he falls over the side of the tower on this side. This
Oh no.
sort like Skyrim when you've been punted by a giant, just like. And
Didn't want to kill him, but
let's
throw dart.
let's roll. Nameless, if you could roll a mic check, please, to stop yourself rolling down the slope, because you're going to hit, but you're not going to be unconscious. It's going to fucking hurt, though. It's going to really hurt. Okay, yeah, so you go flowing down the slope, and out of action for the rest of the day, I should think, at this point, because were you wearing your armor at the time?
Because we just arrived, didn't we?
Cool, so...
Oh, no.
Would you have ridden your armor on the way back?
Oh yeah. My nice new shiny armor.
Yeah, to look fucking fantastic riding out the city.
It's not shiny now. It's got a lot of scrapes and a lot of bumps and bruises on it, but it has saved you from serious injury. You're not sure why this fall hasn't killed you. And when you look up the slope, you just see Gorthin standing in the bottom room of this here, and he sort of just gives you a wave, just like, and then walks back into the. So you felt the touch of magic as you were falling down. So he's probably stopped you from splattering on the floor as he's seen you falling.
Good guy.
That's all right. But that's
Good
about
guy,
it.
Gorthin.
I think Androcles is gonna leave the room after that. He's just gonna kind of like act like he intended to do it, but he's gonna kind of look around like, oh shit, did that just happen? He's gonna kind of look at his left arm and just kind of try to walk out without looking backwards.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just... So
Arden is gonna sigh and look to look to like this might take a little bit longer than you originally planned.
So
and then gonna go run off.
So Lochner is there and hasn't said a word. I want to say he's standing exactly like that picture. And Adalbert turns around to him and says, does this always happen?
Yeah, quite often. Number of times we've all been thrown out of buildings, lost count. That scar there. Launch into a boring story. Full tale.
Okay, so we'll end the first part of the session there, and we'll do taxation another time. Since it all devolved into violence this time around. But how does 100 sound for now for everyone? And because Androcles came up with that idea to tax people as they are working, we'll add a d20 to it. So you're going to get 100 plus d20 per month, if that's okay. And we can do it another way if you want to.
Great. Oh, quick question. Our lands, the Grailwood, goes up against the mountain. Is it possible to have people getting stone?
Yes.
Awesome. So it could be people who put in labor.
Exactly. All right.
Love it.
So we'll have a quick 5-minute break, and then we'll come back and we'll start the next part on board a ship heading towards the Great Moot. So we'll do that. All right. I'll speak to you guys in a minute.
Be right back.
what's happening down in Orange County.
Back again.
Welcome back.
What's happening?
They've started. Yeah, they've stopped a lot of the restrictions, and their people are just doing exactly what they weren't supposed to do when the lockdown first started easing, which is gathering all together and not wearing their mask properly and shit. And so it's gonna get bad over here again. Or well, I mean, where I am in California, it's fine because we're not being stupid.
I feel like it'll get bad for like a little bit, but then it'll ease up because I don't know. Like, yeah.
I mean, if you look at past pandemics, the second was generally significantly worse than the first.
Which is concerning, right?
Yeah, like if you
And
look
that's
at like
weird because that doesn't make sense.
Like the Spanish flu one, it was 3 times as bad. Well, that's because people were asymptomatic, and so people who were sick, people started locking down real quick. But now you're gonna end up with a whole bunch of people who are asymptomatic and carriers, who it's like, oh, I've been quarantined, I've semi-quarantined because a lot of the people aren't doing it properly, and going and spending time with people now that they think they're safe, and they're gonna spread it to a whole bunch of people who can't survive it. And yeah, that's why, and since everyone thinks they're okay, they're a lot of people are just gonna get real up and close, and it's gonna get bad. That's what's happened historically. So we'll see.
Very depressing.
On that cheery note, who's ready for more?
I want being here already. So fucking done with this.
Yeah, we'll get it there. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, cool.
You just got to get out there before the second lockdown, and you'll be fine.
Oh my god, the minute that they start opening up for visa interviews, we're getting him an appointment. Like, the minute.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, it needs to be that way because otherwise it's gonna lock down again. But I don't know. I mean, looking at the way it is, I can't see them. Looking at the way Trump's been approaching it, I can't see him opening things and going, actually, no, we're closing again. Do you know what I mean? I can definitely imagine him closing down international travel again, but I can't imagine him. He will go out. He will go external before he goes internal again. Do you know what I mean? That's just how he does things. So he'll be like, fuck the Chinese. Basically, that's what he'll be like. So, which is fine. Cause that means I can still come into the country. Yay! But we'll see.
Yay! And because who knows? I mean, this virus was made in the lab. My mom was speaking to someone who she works for this healthcare company that my mom is working with. And she's from China, and she was there in 2012 when they were developing this virus in a lab.
It's the T virus, basically.
To which I said, I'm surprised that woman is still alive.
I mean, but didn't they do
virus in a lab?
Yeah, didn't they actually do a study on it to look for the markers of it being lab grown, and it wasn't.
I thought they did, and it was.
I don't remember when I was reading about it, I didn't see anything specific, but one thing that they specifically found that it was not transferred from pangolins to human. That was 100%. It did not.
What does that mean?
Because that was what they thought. It was one from a pangolin to a bat to a human, because it had some similar markers that would suggest that's a possibility. But when they actually really did an in-depth analysis of the RNA, they said that that's very unlikely.
Okay. Anyway, we should probably get on with it before we. So you guys are on your way to the north. If we look on the actual map here, you can see at the top. See Baldur's Bay in the top right-hand side here. So, from the Lothain Valley, you travel down the Venmar River on a boat paid for by the Barons of Lothain. Then you go past Venmar. So you can see the broken. It's basically an abandoned city now, scorched and pitted and half broken down. It doesn't look very pretty. And Lochner, as you go through it, you get some uncomfortable flashbacks of when you were last here. Up here, even in summer, it's quite cold. So we're looking at about -2, -3. So not deathly cold, but you still don't want to be here for a lot longer than you need to be. You come on the right here, down through. Down through.
One thing, Dean. Androcles is not going to show his face out here. He's going to be wearing some sort of mask or something that he can, so he's less recognizable.
Okay.
So he's not immediately recognized as as Androcles, because
Okay. So you go past Thorby, which is a small town, hugging one of the islands here, one of the broken islands. So finally you get out into the Baldur's Bay here. And if you can see the colour of the water on the map, that's essentially what the colour of the water is here. So near the coast is actually like quite light, normal watercolour. As soon as you get out here, it's basically black. And this looks like a Nordic wasteland of a place. And the town that's on the hugging the island is on a set of cliffs, and it has rugged stone buildings and arched roofs, and you can see a lot of flame, a lot of fires are inside of people obviously going about the business. And there are hundreds of longships here, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of longships. So you can only guess that the Great Moot has called a lot of people here from all over the place. And as you go down, you sail past some of the housing. It looks kind of like this. So, hugging the side there. And finally your ship pulls into dock, is pulled in by a few port hands who tie it off. And that they nod to you. They're all Falkeer, all shirtless, and all with tattoos. They all nod to you as you get off the boat. And you're left to your own devices, essentially. Adalbert is not there with you, it's just you four. And you're left to your own devices to find out what the hell is going on with the Great Moot. So what were you going to do first?
Arden is also, as a side note, just going to have, like, under her heavier cloak, she's going to have the hood up as well, because after reading the letters, she doesn't know what they mean, but she gets a feeling that they're talking about her, and she would have asked Androcles who, if he thought it was about her or knew anything.
The letters, he specifically thought, mentioned to you that he thought it was about you. It might be about you because he doesn't know of anyone else that would fit.
So, like Androcles, she's going to try not to be, like, as obvious or in this place.
So, on there is a thing called a godstone standing at the entry to Baldur's Bay from the port. And as you go up to it, it looks like it is a god carved in runic with a hammer. So, who here, Lochner, your Falkeer, this is Thor, standing there with a hammer. He's a very scarred god on this, and his throat's been cut. So most of the gods in this world, if not all of them, are dead. And so all of the depictions of gods that are in the modern day all have some sort of horrific injury given to them. Because these are dead gods, but they're still respected, if not worshipped. And underneath, in runic, it has all the names of the great clans who have turned up. And the top three are the largest, okay? So you've got Halvdar, you've got Thrunrik, and you've got Skjoldung. Those are the three main ones at the top of the list. But there's names and names and names and names and names. And if you do have a clan, okay, it is near the bottom. So we've not gone over what your clan's name is, but they are here. They probably don't know who you are, even if they see you. You basically ran away from home as soon as you could outrun your dad. So that's basically what you did, and you headed to the first city, and that was it. You were ready to fight. But you recognise the name, so you think, there's a few of them around here. and you turn around and you see Androcles looking very uncomfortable behind you, with Arden folding her arms, shivering a little bit, and behind you have Nameless, who is looking around, no sign of the cold touching him at all, looking like he's just stepped in dog shit. But he hasn't. But he has that expression on his face.
Androcles is definitely going to be focused on his clan name, but he's not going to say anything to them about it. He's just kind of staring at it with his general, slightly angrier expression on his face than his general, grimace.
Okay. Underneath that, Lochnia, you see there is going to be a tournament here tonight to celebrate everyone meeting for the first Great Moot in a couple of generations. There will be hand-picked warriors. There are 4 hand-picked warriors from the 4 greatest clans. Yeah. And there will be another 4 challengers to meet them as well. And there's not been decided who's going to be meeting them. But there is a bigger tournament of 32, which has already been whittled down to the last 4. So we'll see how that goes as well. But there is a tournament tonight. There's a large tournament. And it is there, essentially, to fight over something called the Winter Heart. Right? It's a weapon crafted by the Dweor, and it's kept within a very, very, very large case that is in the arena. And if you look over down a few streets, you can actually see the outline of the arena. It's actually built into the rock on the other side of the town. And there are lots of Falkeer running around. There's lots of drinking going on. There's lots of fornicating going on in the streets and otherwise. And the chill of the night is coming in. No one knows who you are right now. So what are you guys going to do?
Head someplace warm.
I think that's
find somewhere that we need to stay the night.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you do. There are. If there's one thing that this place has, it's inns aplenty. There are literally every other door is an inn, and they're all doing roaring business. So take your pick, really. What are you looking for? An upmarket inn, or are you looking for an inn which has got the rabble in it, or are you looking for something a little bit in between?
Doesn't need to be top dollar, but we also want to be safe.
We don't want to be visible either.
trouble then.
And it needs to have a nice bench.
Fair enough. Okay, so you find an inn, and you head on in there. There isn't it doesn't all go silent as it does in the movies, but it does go a little bit more quiet as you guys walk in and then realise you're not Falkeer, or at least some of you aren't. But they quickly go back to doing what they were doing, because traders are here. There are some non-Falkeer here who have come to do a bit of business, and some of them have even come to fight in the tournament. You hear the shouts come from outside as one of the tournaments, the preliminary tournament, as I was talking about before, comes to an end with somebody winning it. But the Winter Heart is not due to happen for a little while yet. So there are 16 places you're hearing in there, and 4 of which are used by the main clans of the area. So that's what's going on at the moment. Everyone's discussing who has the balls to enter. So what are you guys going to do? What are you guys going to do in this bar?
Get some
Go up
food.
to the bar, get some food, get some drink.
Cool.
Warm.
So the man behind the bar he has one eye, and with an eye patch. So he's got an eye patch there. He's got a shaggy beard, and he's got his grey hairs pulled back over his head, and he's got his arms folded, and he's just leaning on the bar, and he looks up to you, Lochnia, and he says, "Well, the hell, you're a big boy."
That's what she says.
What, this one? And he nods to Arden.
She just kind of does a nose laugh, like a.
He
To
goes.
be fair, we've all seen it, so
He goes.
Oh.
He shrugs and goes, "I guess not." Right, what do you want?
What special brew have you got? What's the best?
I've got this one down here. Let's go. Hang on. White rhubarb ale. Just got a fresh batch of it. I don't much like the taste of it, but yeah, I'll have one in the house. Slides it across to you.
Much. Then on the house. Sure wants to have a beer. Oh.
He says, "You're not going to be fighting, are you?" And he looks to you, Lochner, and goes, "Because no, I'd put some money on a fellow like you."
Oh no, not here to fight.
Yeah, that's a shame. And he looks around to the others and goes, "So what are you all doing here then? You don't look like traders." And he looks at Nameless like quite suspicious now. Because there's no one who looks less like a Falkeer than Nameless, to be honest.
I'm
Well,
just here
you'd be
for pleasure.
surprised.
Can we? Yeah. Wait. Nameless, what were you going to say?
Said I'm just here for pleasure.
Okay, and then Arden, what were you going to say?
This one here, and she's gonna pet Androcles on the back, is one of the best models around for an e-textile trading.
As she's saying that, Androcles is gonna just slap her hand away.
Okay, I'm going to do a quick roll here. Oh, GM roll d20. Okay, so as she does that, your HUD falls back and the half face mask falls down. And the guy at the bar just looks up and goes, "You dropped your mysterious disguise there, friend."
He's just gonna put it back to Han. He's just not gonna say anything.
Are you sure you lot aren't here to fight in the tournament? You look like the types. What are you here for, then?
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Oh, don't think it's much of your business you're here to say, right?
Oh, I suppose so, but I don't want anyone causing trouble in my bar if you come looking to settle some scores. I know a lot of our boys have been raiding this past year.
Sounds like you're looking for trouble. Probably, well, you automatically assume all your patrons are troublemakers. We're here for beer.
All my patrons are Falkeer, my friend. Yes, they're all troublemakers. But right now, they're not causing trouble with each other because this is a Great Moot. But outsiders, well...
Oh, yeah. I think what you think. As long as we get a beer and a room and no trouble, we're happy.
All right, sounds good to me. He goes, you all want one room, or do you want company in the room, or...
Androcles is gonna say separate rooms, preferably.
Yeah, he nods and goes, yeah, all right, fair enough. Andrew, please do a perception roll for me.
Sure.
Cool. You see a few people have looked to you, Androcles, and now they're heading to the door. They looked at you, and then now they're heading to the door. And they're out the door.
See my face?
You're getting a reasonable... Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're getting a reasonable... You're already pretty hyper-suspicious, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not sure whether it's you being overly suspicious, or whether it's actually, you know... Whether you're
being recognized. He's gonna err on the side of caution and say... and just like shit, and it's like kind of under his breath, and it's like, and he's just gonna say a room.
Yeah. And the barman gives you a key and says, "Room 4. I'll start a tab for you if you want. Don't you be trying nothing silly though. I've got boys outside ready to knock your head in if you try and run away. Everything gets paid for."
Do we know how much the rooms are? Because Androcles is probably just going to pay for the nights we're here up front, and then just be done with it.
Sure, yeah, be about 50 copper pieces per room.
Yeah. So he's going to pay for his room up front.
Cool. Your man's happy with that?
He's actually going to step out the door and like make sure his like face coverings are in, and he's just going to step out for a minute so he's not there when those guys come back, just in case.
Cool.
Okay, while he's gone, I'm going to speak to the barkeep and just ask him if he knows of a bard that knows really sad songs. Because about when he's asleep, I want them to go outside his door and start playing sad songs into him. And
Okay.
I'll pay for that.
He goes, what you want some of my singers and lute players to go outside of his door and sing
and do really sad songs.
Alright. And he gives you like a strange look and says, 100 copper pieces and I can sort that out for you. Whatever floats your boat.
Problem. Have 150 and don't leave when he tells you to.
He's like, alright, fair enough. And he goes in and he clicks his finger, goes, alright, get up them stairs. And he goes, when do you want us to start?
As soon as you hear the snoring.
Alright, fair enough. And so Arden and Lochner and Nameless, you have a drink each. The fourth drink is there, and but isn't. Androcles is not around to get it. And there's a bustle at the door as 4 large Falkeer walk in. They all almost look identical, so obviously they're from the same family.
Yep.
And they start walking around and checking people and looking around and things. And they start walking towards the bar. Nameless, you were going to say something then before I cut you off.
Oh, I just said they look inbred.
Okay, fair enough. Yes, they do. But yeah, he walks there. They walk over to the barman, and they say, the guy, the largest of them says, "Name's Egil. You haven't had a stranger coming in here tonight, have you?" And the barman just nods and goes, "Well, these 3. Don't want any trouble though." And he turns around to you, Lochner, and goes, "I thought you said you didn't want any fucking trouble."
You're the one that pointed out strangers.
Yeah, so he doesn't slit my throat. Do you know who this is? And the main man turns around and says, he looks at you all and goes, "No, not him." He goes, "Search around, have a look around. You haven't seen a large. What did you say?" And he turns around to one of the blokes who's there with him and he goes, "It's definitely him. It's definitely him. Same size, colour, everything." He's like, "Well, there are other Achaeans around, you know." And he looks towards Nameless. "You sure he didn't mean him?" And the other guy says, No, not him. No. This guy was better looking."
Oh, damn.
Shots fired.
And he's just like,
I have better hair.
That's not a competition. Androcles
Exactly.
fucking chops off his hair. He's basically bald.
So they go looking around, and as the things are getting pretty awkward in the bar, until you hear the melodic sound of a Falkeer battle hymn for a defeated opponent echoing from up the stairs where the rooms are, and you hear a woman wailing a song up there, and the 3 Falkeer stop and they just look at each other, and they go walking up the stairs. What is everyone doing at the bar?
Figuring out my own little joke.
Laughing at his joke.
Oh, poor
Arden is just
Androcles.
like laughing along and glancing over her mug at those guys as they walk up the stairs.
Okay, cool. I have a funny feeling other members of your party don't know the severity of the situation, Androcles, so I think you're on your own with this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
you hear a hymn outside and people just singing directly. Sound like they're singing directly outside your door, like literally directly outside your door.
Androcles actually didn't go into his room. He left the bar entirely.
Oh, did he? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So
He definitely didn't want to be here when they got back.
okay, so you were outside. That's fair enough. Excellent. So what I'm going to do, I didn't realise you're outside. They would have walked past you.
He's kind of covered himself up and left, just kind of basically he would have gone straight, circled around behind the pub and gone to a different street entirely immediately.
So, the Falkeer come back down the stairs, and they say, "Listen, if you see him again, tell him we're looking for him. Don't want any trouble. I just want to see him." And this is the main man, Egil, who says this. I just want to see him.
To you?
The Achaean who was in here before. I know he was here.
Oh, massive guy, bold.
Yes.
Likes his axes.
Yes.
Yeah, never seen him. Sorry.
He looks at you and says, "Foreigners," and goes and sits down in the corner of the bar and just glares at you. He's actually of a size with you, even though he's Falkeer. So he's about 6'10", 6'11", something like that. Pushing 7. He's a big bloke. And he's eyeing you very suspiciously at this moment in time. So, Angelus, are you going to come back to the bar at some point, or are you going to stay out all night and live on the streets?
He'll go eventually, but I think he's going to, he's going to find a different place to stay for in the afternoon and not come back until late.
Cool. Fair enough. So, Lochner, Arden, and Nameless, what are you going to do for the rest of the afternoon? Are you going to...
I'm just going to throw lots of winks and thumbs up at the mad Falkeer guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wind him up.
So
Arden's just chill with Lochner, Nameless, then maybe head up to her room as it gets later.
Cool. Excellent. So we'll skip forward to later on. And Angelus, would you say you would recognize people from your old clan immediately? Like, even if you saw them...
I mean, anyone he is there with, because, he didn't have a good relationship with them, so he'd be, he'd be really wary of them.
Mm-hmm.
So he's, he'll be looking around for them to specifically avoid them. He would recognize most of them because he hates most of them pretty passionately.
Mm-hmm. So, Nameless, you see, as Arden goes up to bed, a young boy skirts around her and apologizes and goes and sits next to the big Falkeer, who ruffles his hair and gives him a sip of his ale, and all the blokes around him just start talking and things like that. And the door opens to the place, to the bar, and Angelus steps inside with his hood up and his face mask up. And Angelus, you see Egil at the other end of the room, and you recognise him as the brother of Lambi, who is a figure from your past, and he's eyeing you extremely suspiciously because he sees the 2 axes on your back. He sees, and he stands up to walk over to you, and the boy goes to go with him. He says, "No, you stay there," and he comes over to you if you're. But he holds his hands up. He says, "I don't want any trouble for now."
Angelus is gonna just shake his head and then kind of gesture for him to follow him up, because he's gonna just have him talk upstairs.
Okay. As you get, he agrees, and as you get to the top of the stairs, there is what I can only describe as a medieval Glastonbury going on outside of your room. With symbols, everything going on, and dancers and stuff. They seem to be serenading your door.
Angelus is just look at this, just has no idea how to respond to this. She's gonna just flat stares at it for a minute, what is happening here? And then turn towards he's gonna turn towards Egil and just be like if he knows anything about this.
He shrugs and just, I don't know. I thought they were for you.
He's going to shake his head and then just kind of go to whoever it looks like they're kind of leading this.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of put a hand on them and just say, "Time to leave."
He turns you putting your hand on his shoulder into a dance move, and when you twirl a girl around with by holding her hand, he does that and twirls around, and you hear Egil scoff behind you. It's
well, I not be turned and actually push the guy
Sure.
away.
Do a mic check for me.
Yeah, because I'm not. He's not here for it, especially not right now.
Yeah, so you like shove him away, and the music sort of stops, goes, and you can stalk past into your room.
And I'm going to give them one more look and say last warning, and then go into the room.
Right. Egil follows you, and
I will slam the door in the face of the musicians.
As you do that, he turns to you and says, "You know, I never really thought you were such a bad lad, you know."
Well, I am what I was made to be.
He nods and goes, "I know, Lambie was a hard bastard, and I didn't agree with all of his methods, you know. But I am the ranking member of our clan here, and they will be expecting vengeance. We lost a lot of men. You were supposed to give us intelligence in the Achaean land. You're supposed to make sure that we had crossings, that we had, well, anything that we needed for our campaign. When our clan sent men there to raid, we were annihilated. You were nowhere to be found. There is a blood price to pay here, Agnar, and you have to stand up to that fact. You may not think that you're one of us, but we raised you. And we need you to... Well, I need you to do the right thing.
What is that?
You need to enter into the tournament and face me.
How will that resolve anything?
Either I end you, and I end the shame that defeat brought to my family by having a traitor walking around who hasn't been punished, or you defeat me and absolve yourselves in the eyes of every Falkeer here. Problem solved either way. It's been he shakes his head and says, "It's been 5 years since your mother died. You know? And all I seem to do is look after Lambie's whelps. Even if they are ungrateful." And he looks you up and down. Says, "Make no mistake. If you don't fight me here, in the tournament, you'll be killed on the streets walking around. I can guarantee your safety until you go into the tournament. That's about as far as I can do. I'll do that for your mother."
Will kind of like shake his head, like kind of not really like a no, more of just like a doesn't seem to have much of a choice kind of thing.
He nods and says, "All right, I'll see you tomorrow." And he says, before he leaves, he turns and says, and her real name was Cassandra, by the way. And then just leaves and closes the door behind him.
And he's just gonna kind of like sit in his room. He's just,
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of like, it's sort of a defeated look.
As you look up, a very familiar Falkeer is there, seemingly out of nowhere, sitting with his forearms resting on his thighs. He's looking at you, and he says, "Told you should have come." Gives you like a wink.
I suppose I didn't have much of a choice.
And he just shrugs and goes, "Nope." And he stands up and goes to walk out and goes, "Mind if I take the singers?"
Please.
As you hear him tell him to follow him, and they march down the hallway, and we leave you there for the rest of the evening. So, as you're all drinking in the main bar, Lochner is there, obviously, and Arden is there, and Nameless is there. The actual innkeeper comes over to you all and sits down at your table with a free jug of ale, and says, one of my fighters just pulled out. Apparently, your friend is taking his place in the lists tomorrow, so less money for me. No money for me, as the case may be, but I don't argue with Egil. What Egil says goes.
Cool.
There's
cool.
He says, I'm looking for a fighter or fighters. I'll pay, but I don't want Egil winning the money in the tournament. I want to win that money. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm willing to share it with all of you. You can have the weapon, obviously. I don't need that. But there's about 1,500 gold on the line here for a winner. He looks to you, Lothain, and says, "What about you, big boy? You'll help me out. It's only to the first wound. Well, unless somebody takes it personally, then, you know."
Enough money. I'm taking all the risk and little the reward. Nah, you're all right. Thank you.
Well, you're getting the weapon if you win, and you can have half the money as well.
The weapon.
They won't let you fight without my sponsorship, you see. Or somebody sponsoring you. And I don't think anyone else is going to stand behind some foreigners, and I don't think you can convince anyone that you belong to a clan when no one knows who you are.
Character, what was the prize weapon again?
It is the Winterheart, so it is a weapon inside of a case, essentially.
But we don't know what kind of weapon it is.
Yes, you don't know what kind of weapon it is.
Look big enough for a great sword.
It does look big enough for a great sword.
What a coincidence. Why not?
It also looks big enough for a spear, a bow, or an axe. So that's just, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, he nods and says, it's only to the first wound. You shouldn't die. Just, you know, bear in mind, if you do, I may need a backup. How about you? And he nods to you, Nameless, and says, how about you? You want to fight for gold?
Sure, this place looks fucking boring, so yeah, why not?
And he turns to you, Arden, and says, I suppose you can do it as well.
Are we allowed to use bows in this tournament?
Yes.
Sure.
Right. Well,
How many spectators she can kill?
750 gold goes to the winner then, and the blade as well, obviously.
So it's a blade.
Well, I'm assuming it is. I don't think it would be anything else. These are Falkeer, aren't they? He stands up and like slaps you on the back, Nameless, and says, "Right, I'm gonna go to the bar, and I'll see you outside the arena tomorrow."
Yeah, your bards, they owe me 50 gold because they left when they were asked to.
Oh, did they? And
Copper, yeah.
He turns around to them and gives them like a few of them a slap and sends them back up the stairs.
Yeah.
Job done.
Thank you.
And the slow melodic sound starts again from up the stairs as the camera fades and we go into the next evening. Now the next evening, you guys have been around, you know, all day now, getting little bits of information here and there, you know, but nothing too spectacular at the moment. It's just the names of different warriors who are in the lists and things like that. Nothing much else is going on there at the moment. So let's go straight to the actual tournament itself, because we're not running out of time. But if I do any more exposition, we might be. So I don't know what that was, but that sounded really funny. So I'm gonna do. I did look for arena noises on bloody, what's it called? Roll20, but unfortunately there was none. So I'm gonna need to find someone on YouTube and send it to you, which I did have. Yes, I do. I have them here. Very nice. Very, 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 very nice. Yay! Works quite well. Excellent stuff. So I'm going to put it in chat now. Have it on if you wish. Don't have to if you don't want to. Sounds a bit more Riemann than I was hoping for, but it doesn't matter. So, next day, outside of the arena, looks like this. So we have a very large building, and inside, on the other side of that, is a carved out arena in an oval shape. And inside the arena is this. So, rather large, but quite primitive. Crowds are sitting in these galleries up here. There are no seats, just everyone just packed in together. And on the main seat up here, when you guys enter in, you're in the crowd. You can actually see a Falkeer sitting up here with a man standing next to him who is... he actually looks like... this. That's the man standing next to him with a staff.
Looks familiar.
Yep, there's a man standing next to him with his staff, and the main man sitting down. You can only...
Both look very familiar.
You can only assume this is Harkin, who I think you last saw at Caledon. I think was the last time you saw him in all of his glory.
Yep.
Wielding his axe. He is not competing, you'll be glad to know. But there are lists there. You don't know who's competing until you put your names in. So there is a man there looking for tokens, and he says, he's like, "Oh, name, sign up. All right, we got apparently Eivor the Innkeepers bringing in 4 sponsors. I don't know, yeah, I'm looking for them. I don't know where they are, and that's the. He's wearing like a what can I describe as a blacksmith's apron with almost nothing on underneath, and he's got a cleaver in one hand and a note sheet in the other as he's holding it out to another bloke who's basically writing down in like charcoal. He's writing down different names and things. There's 4 left. Go and find him, will you? As you guys you're walking into the arena with Eivor there as well. And Eivor like says, well, one of you is going to be rich. The rest of you are going to be very, very sore. And he just smiles and says, I'll be in the stands. Don't forget to fire me when you've won. And he chuckles and runs off up the steps. And he goes, oh, you sign in down there. And he points down towards a grate that has like steps. So it's an open grate that has steps going down into the bowels of this place.
Well, off we go then, I guess.
So, Androcles, Ardent, Lochny, and Nameless, you're all there together. So, what's everyone's moods right now going into this thing?
Are you confident?
Yeah.
I mean,
just
Arden's a little nervous.
death doesn't usually happen, but accidents happen. Especially again, if somebody takes something very personally, then they might choose to mistakenly lop your head off or something. You know, just like one of those things. Has been known to happen. So, Androcles, you are there. What's your feeling right now? How are you?
I mean, basically, from the time he left his, Egil, he's just been kind of sitting and preparing himself because he doesn't want to do this, but he also knows he doesn't have a choice. So he's just been kind of getting all of his gear and making sure everything's well prepared for this.
Yeah. So
even after even after the others kind of come in, he will kind of look at them in confusion for a minute, and then just kind of nod and
yeah,
because he's like, what are they doing here? It's like, oh, it's a tournament. Of course they're here.
Yeah,
because for Androcles, he's not really thinking about it as a tournament. For him, this is just him settling that,
Mm-hmm. So you guys talk amongst yourselves whilst I just sort this out. 1 second.
This kind of defeats Arden's plan to lay low.
That's a good point. You'll be fine. I'm sure no one in this giant arena will recognize you. They might recognize if your arrows go straight.
So
that is your most recognizable feature when your arrows hit random passerbys.
Exactly. It's my signature move.
Yeah.
Although that hasn't happened recently.
This is true. Mostly because everyone's moved out of your way.
Right.
Problem is, they were just standing, or where my arrow wasn't. It's really, it's all it has to do with them. It's my target.
Pretty hard to miss Lochner, right?
It's not untrue.
It's a big dude.
Arden. Cool. Cool. So, let me just have a little look here on the other side of things. Look here. This is right. So, I'm going to shorten this down from 16 to 8 because we're not going to have time to do 16. Cool. We're going to have names 4, 6, 8. Yeah. Is nice. We're going to do okay, cool. All right. Agnar. Nice. So, all done. I'm going to send that to you now. Should be in the chat in a second. What's he doing? Nice. So, back into Facebook, send this across.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I've got the other half of the list, and I'm going to auto-generate the winners in the other half of the lists. So, you will all have people to fight, but those are the ones that are on your side of the draw, sort of a thing. Have a wee look here. Boom. So, generally, the winners of these will face the winners of the ones above them, essentially. But Nameless and Garland, whoever wins those, one of that one, will go to face someone on the other half of the draw that I've not shown you there, because it'll just take too long for me to go through everything. I was going to describe all these, but that's no point. So, let's go with. So at the very start of this thing, we have Arkan sitting up there on his throne, not really doing very much, just chilling out. And the very first fight is Astrid Ravenhair against Ivor Longbeard, and she makes pretty much short work of him. Like she it's about 5 to 6 seconds long. He swings at her a few times. She slices one of her knives across his wrist, and then throws her over his shoulder and breaks his arm. And he taps, essentially, and just says, no more, and she just strides off. To muted cheers, it was too quick for their liking, sort of a thing. And we go down through the list on the other side, so there's a few other fighters fighting on the other side. Until we get to, let's do Arden, shall we? Arden against Cassius of Florentia, so you're called forward first into the space here, so draw yourself wherever you wish in the arena.
Okay, just a sec. Oh, I did not mean to do that, but it happened.
Things happen.
And so the man who's facing you looks like he's got Lorica segmentum armor on, so it looks like very much a Riemann style man there. And he's essentially just limbering up, getting ready. He's not taking you very seriously at all. He just seems like he's, getting ready to dispatch you and then just head on to the next round. He wants to get you out the way, sort of a thing. So as soon as Harkon's hand drops to let you start, he throws his shield down and comes straight forwards. And everyone needs to roll.
Arrow.
Yeah, go ahead and roll initiative for me. I'll roll. Wasn't very good. He got 17. So you're going first. What would you like to do?
Bow and arrow.
Nice.
If I'm allowed to.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my Lothain bow. Damn.
Okay, and again. You get two
What?
more. You get 2 more. Okay, so 2 solid hits there. He may be down. I think he is down. Yeah, he is. So he comes up to you, and you slam 2 arrows into him. The first one goes straight into his shield. The second one, the 15, takes him in the shoulder, and he just goes down just enough. He looks up just in time for the last one to slam into his helmet and knock him down onto the ground. He is now ready to be finished, and unless you want to let him get back up, so you can extend this.
No, I'll just pull another arrow and hold it, waiting for him to call that he's done.
As he's looking up, he just holds up a hand, and the announcer calls it in your favor, and that's the end of him. So there we go. So are you going to stalk off and not acknowledge the crowd or anything, or are you going to?
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave.
Okay.
Or Arden's.
I think I know a few people in our group who will be acknowledging the crowd. Speaking of which, Nameless and Garland. There is a man standing in the center of the arena, and he looks like he is also an Achaean, rather large one at that. He has a sword in each hand, and he looks like about a foot taller than you. Yeah, he's pretty large. Like he's not fucking around. He's apparently trying to get out. Don't know what he's doing. So
he's seen me and is running away.
Yeah. So draw yourself wherever you would like to be. He's standing in the middle, just waiting. His name has already been called. You've been called as well. Bear in mind, on this side of the draw, the winner of this will face the winner of... Nope, that's on the other side of the draw, so don't worry about it. Cool. Are you just going to go straight for him?
Hell yeah.
Alright, roll initiative. Ooh, 23. Oh, here we go. Okay, so he's going to attack you 3 times. Oh dear. I'm going to give you another action for his one, because his one of his swords breaks on his crossguard. Doesn't break, but it gets caught in your shield, and you twist it out of his hand.
Pretty unfortunate, isn't it?
Yeah, so he's not happy at this moment in time.
Okay, cool. Well, I guess I'll just start hitting him.
Okay.
One.
Cool. That is a solid hit. Yeah.
2.
Unfortunate.
3.
Okay.
And then what I'm going to do with my final action is I'm going to do a shield bash to knock him down.
Cool.
There you go.
Cool. So, you strike him once. It dings. He swats it aside. But you bring out the other side, the blunt side. You whack him on the head and send him staggering. And then are you trying to kill him, or are you trying to just?
Just knock him out. He's a Achaean.
Yeah. So you ring his bell basically with the other side of the spear against his helmet, and that staggers him. And then you shield bash him. Do a mic check for me. Cool, and one more. Okay, so you go to basically, if you hit him hard enough here, he would have been knocked out because his head's exposed. But instead, he grabs onto your shield and wrenches it out of your hand. And he's going to get a single attack on you for that one. Yeah, he whacks you about the head with a shield, doing 4 points of superficial damage. So it's like
my armor will cover that easy.
Yes, but around the arena they hear a resounding dong as it whacks your helmet. So
rude.
He stands up. He has a sword. You have a spear. It's now even. It's pretty even.
So initiative, I guess.
Initiative.
You said he's lost the shield now?
Yep, it's 25. All right, he's coming at you again. 1, 2. These are with +4 and 3. All right. So, what is your armor? Because he goes flailing at you. What is your armor?
So my armor, without my shield, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a look. 9, 13.
You're
13.
15. You have 15 armor and 4 AP. So this does 3 superficial damage after your armor. So it's a hefty old whack. He's giving you there. You have 1 HP and 1 VP left. But it's your turn.
Cool. Well, let's just start flailing.
He's already bleeding a little bit from last time. So yeah, you're going to go after him.
One. That was shite.
That was good.
Better.
Okay. Luckily for you, he overextends himself. And as you miss with the first one, again, you bring the butt of your spear around and you clang him on the side of the helmet. This time, it knocks him straight out, and you feel the bone give a little bit underneath. So you've probably broken his jaw or done something to him, and he slams into the dirt.
Taking my shield.
Yeah. Are you going to give him any respect, or are you going to just kick dirt in his face? I'm going
to kick sand in his face, and then, gesture to the crowd, arms out.
Yeah.
Lap it up.
Cool.
And then I'll wander off.
Cool. So there you go. Second round done. That's good. This is going quicker than I thought. So Ivor's gone. Astrid went through. Arden went through. Nameless went through. Lochner and Havdar. So Havdar again is a pretty big bloke, and yeah, he's not screwing about. He has a 2-handed axe in his hand. And he seems like a bit of a Harken fanboy because he keeps playing to him rather than the crowd and beating his chest and things like that. So, where would you like to go, Lochner? What are you going to try and do?
Is he muted?
I think he is muted. Oh, you're back. There you go.
No, see, I wasn't muted.
Oh.
But I think the noise cancelling thing just means that I'm mumbling to myself. I have to speak louder. Just thinks I'm noise.
Mm-hmm.
So he's there. Oh.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
I didn't realise I didn't realise
That's even better than Arden's.
What happened there, buddy? You doing okay?
He sneezed as he was pulling it across there. Okay. So, roll initiative for me, please. And so will I. Alright, it's 21. 12. So he's going to spend 2 parts of his turn running over to you, and he's going to slam you in the face as hard as he can. Okay. And how much armor do you have? Lochner, 5 armor. That is 4 superficial damage. We're down to 1 VP, unfortunately. So you've taken a hell of a whack there. So as you step out, he's already on you, and he basically whacks you on the side of the head with the side of his great axe. And you get your arm up, but it still rings your bell a little bit. But it's now your turn.
How close is he?
He's very close. He's like on top of you.
I reach out and grab the back of his head and slam my forehead into his face.
Nice. Now do a mic check for me. Yeah, okay. Just about good enough. So you grab it and do another mic check to slam your head into his head. Cool. You do it, and it bypasses his arm, I'm going to say, because you're going right into his face. How much damage are you trying to do? Are you trying to, like...
Ooh, as much as I possibly can.
Okay, exactly. Okay, so roll another one. Roll another one. This will be your last action this turn.
Rolling dice. It's going slow.
Building tension.
Yeah.
Building tension.
Oh dear.
Oh! Anticlimax.
Okay.
Last action ever.
So, just for the sake of the argument, let's roll some things that Halfdan does next round. Okay. Yeah. So,
For fuck's sake.
as you go to headbutt him, he turns his head the wrong way just by accident, and your forehead that slams into the front of his head, and you fall backwards, just spread-eagled, unconscious. And he looks around like, huh? And he goes, oh, yeah! And then just starts like, cheering, because he's just, and Harkin above is like just clapping, just, well done. And yeah, and the slaves drag you out by your ankles. And Arden, you look over and you can see the innkeeper there, just like looking very glum. He's like, oh.
Great start.
I think as he gets dragged past, I'd just be like, Lochner, that was glorious.
Oh, bollocks.
Nameless is turning into the sass mouth of this group.
Oh yeah.
That was that was interesting. That was very interesting.
That was what we call special.
Yeah.
You knocked yourself out on him.
Basically, yeah.
So, Havdar goes through there.
At least once a game for us, Dean. Somebody does that.
Yep. Or Arden does it to you.
Yeah.
So is Agnar and Halfdan next. So Agnar.
Alright.
A man from a shield wall steps forward. So obviously he's got a shield in one hand. And he's over here. This side.
Androcles will. Androcles is probably just gonna come right to him. Oh, let me come himself in. Or to the center, I guess. Yeah, he won't go past the center line.
So are you gonna do what right through him?
He's probably he probably wouldn't go past the center line.
Okay.
To give the guy, until it actually starts.
Okay. So he basically comes forward. His helmet's there, poking over the shield, and he's got a sword in his hand. He's going to come forward steadily. Roll initiative, please. Okay, 12 for me, 24 for you. It's where John curses me for rolling well, only for him, and then everyone else. So, go ahead.
Okay, so
Do
I'm
your
gonna
worst.
take a couple swings. He's like right up to me, yeah.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna go for it. There's my first-
Jesus. Okay, stop the fight. Stop the fight. Enough. Enough's enough. Okay.
That was only my first action.
Shit. Enough's enough. Stop the damn match. Okay, it's all right. So, this man has the temerity to walk forwards, and instead of like doing anything with caution, you slam one of your axes. Actually, you tell me what happens. I
think he's got a shield raise, right?
Yeah.
I think I'm still getting used to my new arm strength. So
Okay.
I think I take both my axes and just do like a big side swipe, like almost a baseball swing.
Yep.
Right into his shields, and he just sends him back.
Okay.
Back into the wall.
He goes beyond the wall. He goes into the crowd. So he goes flying into the crowd. So it's almost like baseball. Like you just with two bats, you just like bat him out of the arena. and the whole place is shocked into silence, and they all start cheering.
I'm just gonna put my axes away and then turn around and walk away.
Yep, that's it. It's the medieval equivalent of the walk away knockout, basically. Just like,
yeah.
All right, so he is now gone into next week, and okay, so Nameless, you're
You'll
first.
be here next session. You'll land sometime next session.
Nameless, you're first this time around, and a rather massive shape, a Nubian by the looks of things. He looks very, 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 very large, and he has a spear in one hand, and he has what looks like a sword draped over his back, and he has a bow there as well and arrows, and he's wearing cloth armor as well. But he looks very, very light in his feet, and he has scars. He looks pretty tough.
Okay. Draw myself.
Ashad is his name. Ashad Kemri is his name.
Just gonna make sure I'm right on him.
Not
using that. Not using that bow.
He's sponsored by what?
Okay. So we can't just spawn on top of people. We'll put you over here, and then we'll put him over there. All right. So if you want to do that, cool. Let's roll initiative. If you want to do that. Oh dear. Okay, that's just.
Do you still want me to roll?
Go. I was gonna. Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. You go there. That's fine. You go there.
You do what you gotta do, buddy.
Yeah. You do what you gotta do. Okay. So away you go.
So, smash one.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Stop.
Oh, fuck's
Stop the
sake.
match. Stop. So, he starts like. It's basically Indiana Jones, right? So he's twirling around his sword, and he goes to like whip out an arrow and show you the arrows. When he looks down to get the arrow, he looks up and there's a shield coming into his face, and he staggers backwards. And then as he staggers backwards, you just wrap the side of his head with your spear and just send him absolutely sprawling, and he's knocked unconscious.
Like Game of Thrones, where what's his face, the Viper, is fighting the Mountain, and he's just showing off and just gets smashed.
Yeah. So that's the end of that round, and he is now. You'll be pleased to know the next round in this is as you're on the other side of the round again, but. The next round is Astrid Ravenhair against Arden. That is the next round. So, Astrid is standing on this side of the battlefield, and she is in battle leathers and has a dagger in each hand. They look like swords, really, but she's just like twirling them around absent-mindedly. And you're over there, so you come up through the grate. She looks at you and cocks her head slightly, and then just shrugs, and then runs towards you. So we're gonna roll initiative. Cool, fine. John's gonna be fucking apoplectic if I keep doing this. Right. Your turn. Go for it.
Arrows.
Cool.
I think that's it.
Let me. She gets.
Need a natural 20. We both got one.
I mean, I imagine you saw Androcles do what he did, and then you're like,
right.
"Well, not to be outdone."
So you fire 2 arrows. 2 of them go sinking into her leather armor. The third one, she knocks out of the air with her daggers, and she looks pissed. She looks pretty annoyed, you know. And she comes streaming towards you, and uses up 2 actions from her move. And the last action, +7. That is a normal hit, and that will.
My armor's 5.
Your armor's 8.
Wait, how?
Because you told me it was 8.
No.
Didn't you get a helmet?
No, I have my hide cuirass, which has 4, and then I oiled it, so it has 5.
Well, in that case, she does 5 superficial damage to you.
Okay.
Cool. It is now your turn.
Arrows. Nope.
Cool. One of them will hit, but she's going to use up 3d20. Yeah, she knocks it effortlessly aside as you fire it, and it's at point blank range as well. So like you fire it, and she's already moving, and she gets it up the air, and she comes at you again with all 3 this time. Cool. There's a hit, a miss, and a hit. So, she actually do a might check for me.
I think Arden's out.
Oof. Oof. So she pushes you back.
Yay!
She pushes you.
No.
You're gonna hate. She pushes you back towards the wall,
I'm not alone.
and
She lasted twice as long as you.
she locks eyes with you,
True.
and you get a very weird sense that she just sort of cocks her head again, and then her eyes go wide, and then she just, under her breath, she just says, "Hit me, hit me."
Oh.
What?
Hit me.
Arden will be really confused, but just do it.
Okay. You hit her, and she goes sprawling into the dirt, and the whole.
Oh, God. but like at least make Arden roll. So if she rolls a 1, it's one of those pathetic ones, you know, where she practically brushes a cheek or something.
No. I'm not saying it was a good hit. What I'm saying is that she barely.
I just rolled a 2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so she barely grazes her, and she falls to the ground. And
She grazes her. She like looks at Arden for a second, like really.
The arena is silenced as the mighty Astrid Ravenhair has been felled by some nobody, and they then start applauding, and Astrid Ravenhair like staggers up to her feet and then basically bolts for the door and doesn't look back.
I'm gonna call from the grate where I've been watching. Fix.
No, yeah. I mean
I shoot an arrow just past his head.
Roll.
That's dangerous.
Roll a
Okay.
roll an attack roll, please.
Right in the eye.
You don't.
You know what? I'm actually gonna not do that.
Okay. Cool.
Don't chicken out.
So
we need him to be the one-eyed sage. He needs to go for his full Odin look as the Falkeer.
Arden is through, and we now have Agnar against Havdar. I love Falkeer names. So rid of these. Agnar against Havdar. After a while, Lochner is brought up to the stand where Nameless is, and he's like holding his head, like looking very grumbly.
Anything.
Hi, buddy.
Well, at least Flissy isn't here.
That's true.
So, Havdar from last time, he's looking very confident, and he's like, yeah, and he's just like, he's already appealing to the crowd, and he's already taken out another mighty Falkeer, so he's gonna roll his initiative.
Don't headbutt him.
Okay, you go first.
All right, I'm gonna have to use 2 actions to get up to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will use my third action and just axe him.
Cool. Ask him a question.
No, that does not go well.
No, does not go well. Okay, so he's gonna.
I was thinking that.
He's gonna hold you in place and headbutt you 3 times. All right, that is. Let me double check. So I said headbutt and not do it with a sword, stupidly. That is 8 superficial damage.
Is that after my armor?
That's after your
Right
armor.
now I'm at 9.
That is indeed after
so-
your armor. From this point on, I've got your armor and health. Everyone's here, so I can see. So I'm doing it.
Okay, so I'm just going to start this off a little safer. I'm going to use, since no one else has done it up till now, I'm going to use the medium armor bonus, the Warden save.
Ooh! Finally, someone did the rules. All right.
I've been waiting till I actually got hit.
So what does it do?
It doubles my armor score for 1 round per combat.
Nice. So that absorbs the
Yeah.
Nice, cool. Your next round.
This time I'm going to attack him 3 times. That's an 18 for 1 hit.
Mm-hmm.
And then that is going to be with the Falkeer hand axe.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's
He's not best pleased.
26 plus, and that's a second hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 15. So that's 21. And I'm going to use my hewing.
Yeah.
To ignore all of his armor for that hit.
Yeah. Ribbons. He is chopped to little bits, little gobs. Are you trying to kill him?
No.
Okay. So basically, you like wail on him till like he's knocked back and knocked against the wall, and then you carry on going till he just holds up his hands and surrenders. And that is the end
once
of.
Again,
So
turning and walking away.
by the transit of properties, does that mean you just beat Lochner?
Yes, it does. It 100% does. Because not only did I beat the person who beat Lochner, I beat him unscathed.
And I'm getting a feeling that Lochner will be having words with 1 or 2.
Once my head stops ringing, yes.
Nice. So
The guy put up a fight, so I'd give him a kind of a hand across the chest salute because he did fight reasonably, and then I'll walk away.
Nameless, you are once again in the arena. Okay.
Arden.
No, against a man called Valka. This is your last fight on this side of the draw.
Just drawing the circle, you can
Okay.
move it.
That's fine. Lock it there. Roll initiative. So Falkeer is a pretty large man. Actually, no, is he? Let me look at my notes. No, he's not. So Falkeer is a small man with 2 daggers. He looks ridiculously quick though, and he's doing a lot of knife tricks as well. And he's dead.
He was too distracted by his knife tricks. Is that it?
Yeah, pretty much.
So, yeah, let's go. So that's 1 action, right?
It's like I'm playing 40k again. It's ridiculous. Okay.
So, yep. And now I'm going to whack him in the face twice and just end this.
Yeah. And this charade. Right, that is a single hit, but how much damage does it do?
So that's number 2, is it, on the damage chart?
Mm-hmm.
Give me a second. It is 10 superficial with AP 3.
He's got 1 VP left. Okay. This poor man. He only had a dream of coming and. All right. He's gonna attack you with his knives as quickly as he can. Ooh, that's actually not too bad. Let's have a little look. How much damage did it do? So he slices in at you, and we have 15 armor. He does 3 superficial damage to you.
I'm gonna laugh at him. And
You've got 1 VP left, like, well, yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
oh dear, that's not good for thingy.
You get another 2, though, don't you?
Oh, I was rolling initiative.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, of course you were.
No!
I'll just delete him now. No,
One,
I'm making you roll for it. Go on.
2,
Yeah, he's gone. He's gone.
Three.
He's gone. He's gone. He's gone. Alright, so he sees an opening, so he is, he stabs you once and he's thinking, oh, I've got him. So he goes to stab with the other one, only to find the rim of a shield in his face, which will send him sprawling backwards, and then you whack him on the side of the head with your spear and send him into the dirt, and that's the end of Mr. Falkeer. So the semi-finals. Right, there's 4 people left. You'll be very pleased to hear, or Lochner will be very pleased to hear, that Nameless will be fighting one Androcles Methodos next in the and Arden will be fighting another. Ooh, where are we now? On which side of the draw are we on? Last 4. So he went through there. He went through there. He went through there.
Dean, for the continuity, Androcles is in there as Agnar, yeah?
Yes. So he's fighting. Oh, Temur. There we go. Found it. Yeah, so Temur has won the other side of the round. Temur. Team Yorvok. Okay. So, which fight do we want to do first?
Let's save me and Androcles for second. Let's build up some tension.
Okay, cool. So, Team Orvok, he is a very large Asunder. So, he enters the battlefield and is... When I say large, I mean, yeah, he's very, very, very big. And he has a spear and nothing else. So he has a spear, he's stripped to the waist, and he's twirling his spear around. So.
Our very opposite end of this. With a bow and arrow.
You're nearly out of the arena, yeah. Okay.
Just like climbing up the wall a little bit.
I do actually have... Oh, shit. The rolling has turned.
Oh,
my, how the tables have turned.
Oh my.
Ugh.
So let me just before I do it, I do have a picture of this guy. Don't I?
Takes a few turns.
It does, but he has more turns in this because this does get harder as it goes on. There you go. Or can I not do that? I can't do that. Okay, fair enough.
Oh wait, shit! It takes up 3 turns to get to me.
It does take that, yes.
Wait, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
I think it does,
2.
you know.
Because you've got the 15-foot free and then 3 10-foot.
Yeah, so it's only 2 turns.
So he looks pretty mean. He looks like the biggest Klingon's ugly larger brother. So he's going to come to you with 2 turns, 2 actions. He has 2 actions left, so he gets 4 actions. So he's pretty hard. 2d20.
Well, shit.
Alrighty. That wasn't a very good hit. After your armor, that does 6 aggravated damage.
Aggravated?
Mm-hmm. He's not pulling punches. He's going full on.
That is
full on.
Not good. Okay. Is it my turn?
It is your turn. Oh god. Go back to Arden rolling.
He's gonna kill me.
Okay, so cool. So 1 hit goes in, slams into his chest. And how much damage did it do?
That is I think, here, wait, let me just double check.
He has 9 armor.
It's 13. Is that the middle tier, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's 13 aggravated.
Ooh, okay.
And it's a 3 AP.
Yeah, he ain't happy. 1 more of them and he might be hitting the deck here. Alright. So He is in Asunder, so he's going to use half of his next turn. Actually, no, he's going to have to use 3/4. Yeah, 3/4 of his next turn as a high level Asunder, healing damage. Let's see what he can do. So roll d6. So he does 6 damage, aggravated damage. So roll 1.
Me?
Nope. No, why would he heal you? So he then rolls. He then rolls 1. So he only rolls 1 attack in this round, and it is a hit, but it's only going to do. Oh, it's only going to do 1 superficial. Oh well, 1 superficial after your armor.
Nice.
That was unlucky.
I realized we didn't roll initiative for this round, but...
Oh, yeah. Well, fair enough. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. So... I think your luck may be running out here, darling. I'm not gonna...
At least that's 12 aggravated damage.
That is 12 aggravated damage minus 9.
It's 13. And it's a 3 AP.
It's a 3 AP. He has... he has 1 VP left. Okay, so he has 1 VP left. So he is looking at you with newfound respect at this moment in time. He is going to try and heal again.
I only have 2 left.
Oh dear. Okay. He now has 2 VP left. So he needs to basically kill you with his last attack. He has 1 attack because he tried to heal. I think that's going to be good enough. That's going to do 4 superficial.
So does that... Am I down to 1 HP, or I was at 2 before?
You're at -2.
No, but isn't there a difference between aggravated and superficial?
No. No. Well, the only difference is that if you take aggravated as you go below 0, then you could be dead. Or superficial, you should be fine.
Okay.
But for now, unluckily, you are out of the tournament for now. And there are 2 left in the tournament. So, we've had our warm-up. Time for the main event. Well, semi-main event, because there's a final to go. With the Nameless and Androcles. Timor actually gets you to your feet, Arden, as he knocks you to the ground, and you accept and you yield. And he says, that was well fought.
Not as well as I would have liked, but thanks.
So you're a mercenary, aren't you?
Got that right.
You're not looking for fighters, are you?
Could be. Stick around after the tournament and we'll talk.
Alright. I only fight for you, though. None of the other prancing ones I've seen over here. And he as he follows you out and he ducks underneath the lintel over here. He's literally like 7'2". He's not a small man. So shall we do Nameless and Androcles? Alright. Oh, it's all gone quiet. It's all gone very serious all of a sudden. Okay, why don't you draw yourselves on the
I imagine he and I would just come face to face.
Shall we forego the moving? Let's just meet in the middle. Gentleman's agreement.
I mean, it's kind of the way we both fight, so.
Yep.
This has been coming for a while, I suspect. So.
Yeah?
Alright. Roll initiative.
He's got to get me for throwing him out of a building. And I've got to get him for throwing me out of... Well, no, I got him for throwing me out of a building already.
Oh dear, it's over already.
Oh, well, we'll see.
Oh!
I'm not going to let you roll again. You guys hit simultaneously. So, go ahead and roll all of your attacks at once.
All of them?
Yeah, anyone can go first, but you're going to hit at the same time.
Alright. I'll roll, I guess.
Whoa! Okay. Okay, so, wait.
So that's all 6 of my attacks for the 3 attacks over 3 rounds, or 2 attacks each round.
Okay, 1 hit, 2 hits, 3 hits. 4 hits. 4 mid-range hits on Nameless. How much damage?
Hang on. If he misses because he's dual wielding, don't I get extra attacks?
Yes.
So how many extra attacks am I getting?
Let's have a little look on the rules.
I missed 1. Where did that?
Because he said you hit 4 out of 6, right?
I think so.
No, it gets them +1 to their attack roll when they next attack.
+1 to your
Every
attack
miss.
roll. So
Right.
this is why I wanted to do it all, not one after the other, but all at once. If you know what I'm saying. So, so 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. So we'll do the damage on Nameless first. So 4 hits, normal hits. How much damage do you do? Do it for your main hand weapon first.
I would want to use. I would want to end this quickly. So I would probably use my hewing again and ignore his armor for at least probably my first hit right off the bat.
Okay, just for the first one, yeah.
So for the Falkeer hit, let's see. I would have hit with the Falkeer twice, and the steel 3 times. No, wait. Sorry, I'm just double checking. So if it 1, 2, 1. So yeah, I've hit with the Falkeer hander. The Falkeer one twice, so that would be a D6 for each of them.
Yep.
I'm just gonna roll 2d6, and then it's plus. If it's a second hit, that's 15 with 3 armor pen, and one of those is going to be with ignoring armor entirely.
Cool. So another 9. All of this will be minus 15 on each of them coming through.
Okay, so that axe has 3 armor pen. So the second one is still going to do 9 damage, and the first one is going to do the full.
So instead of working it out all across, do each hit. So tell me, how much does your first attack do? So your first one of the 4 you rolled, which of the 4 you hit with, how much damage does it do?
18.
18, because there's no armor save there. Okay, cool. Second one?
Is going to do 9 damage.
Okay, well let's stop there, because that knocks out Nameless. Okay, but Nameless does get to attack you back. So
we're not done yet, my friends.
Yeah.
My armor states that for every attack that hits me, I get to roll a d6, and on a 6, all damage is ignored.
Okay, I forgot I wrote that in. Okay, that's
Doesn't matter.
fair enough.
There's a lot of lead into that.
So Nameless's attacks.
Right.
1 hit.
So,
I know.
am I rolling?
Yeah, you're rolling.
1. Oh, you're dead.
Yeah, I think so. So 2. That's good. That's good. So 1, 2.
Oh, and I might as well make them all Manticore stings, so they all crit. So you know.
How many times do you get to do that in a round, though? Does it say?
I can use it, it says, just as many times in an encounter as I have skill in my spear. So
I didn't really
6 times.
I didn't really balance this for player characters fighting each other. So you guys literally.
He's using something that is like almost certainly going to kill me.
In the split of an eye, the fight starts and ends as you guys just wail on each other. And there's like a ringing sound in the arena, and then both of you just fall to the ground, knocked out, unconscious. At this stage, you can either carry on fighting, or elect that neither of you goes through, because this is a draw, and Timur Vok will be declared the winner. What would you like to do?
Fight on.
Fight on. Okay, cool. All right. So you stagger.
Your place doesn't really have much of a choice.
You both got 1 VP left. Right.
So initiative. Please roll high.
Oh, it might be Nameless's. All right, Nameless.
So 3 manticore stings.
Didn't you?
2.
Yeah.
3.
How many did you roll last time? You did 4 last time.
No, did 3.
Oh, okay.
He's done. Well, you did 1 earlier in the session, didn't you? And then you did 3 as well. How many did you get?
No, you didn't do any manticore stings.
I didn't do any until I encountered you.
Yeah. So he did 3 last time. How many?
I've now used all 6.
Okay, fair enough. How much armor does he have? And will this make a difference? I don't think it will.
I can double my armor, so that'll give me 18 total.
Ooh, for the
my armor's oiled.
For one of the hits, though.
It says for the round.
Ooh, 18 total. Wow. Well, you've only got 1 VP, unfortunately.
Round per combat.
So how much damage do you do, Nameless, from your?
We're all crits. So how do crits work? Are they double damage?
Critical hits are. They are damage plus whatever skill you have in the weapon you've got. Weapon using.
So it does. So it's 12 superficial damage for the highest one. AP 3 plus my skill in spears, which is 6. So
just about killed. Jesus Christ! I think it's like by 1.
3. Yeah, 3.
3.
It's 18.
Oh yeah, it's 18 without the AP. Of course, it is just about. So as you're both getting up to your feet, Androcles, you exhaustedly swing for a Nameless, and rather than him doing it through any sheer skill, he just pushes through and just rams the wrong end of the spear right into your dome, and you just fall backwards onto the sand, and Nameless sinks to his knees, like exhausted but like victorious, but doesn't really know where he is as well. And
so hang on, that's 3 fights we've had now, right?
Yeah.
And I won, in inverted commas, the first.
Yeah.
Lost one.
Yeah.
And I've won this one.
And legitimately, so Androcles, I'm going to come up and say Androcles did win the first 2. Let's be honest, like there were witnesses, but this one's definitely your round. Definitely.
I didn't see it.
No, you were unconscious.
You lost.
So, the last round then.
I've actually got to get going because it's past 11 your time. I've got to drive and meet someone.
No worries. What I'm going to do is for you. You've had your. Oh, there's one little bit as well. Okay, fair enough. Not sure what to do.
I mean, I could probably tune in on Discord once I'm in my car.
No, I don't want you doing that because you're going to be driving. It's not going to be that good. So
I mean, I've got it on my Bluetooth on my car, so it's not I don't have to hold my phone up or anything.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry. What we can do is next time. So we'll end the session here, and we'll come back on Monday to do the second half of the thing. But we'll do the last round, and then we'll end the session there. Then we'll come back on Monday or something and do another one.
I mean, it'd have to be, like I said, a week from Monday is when I'm available again.
Oh yeah, of course you are.
Yeah, sorry man, it's just
that's okay.
It's running late.
Yeah, okay, yeah, off you go, and we'll sort it out next time. But I will end the session after this little bit here. So,
Good luck, guys.
All right, so speak to you a bit later on.
Alright.
So, Timur is the last one here, and let's. Here he is. So, let's get this underway. So we got roll d20. Why do I write these characters? Why do I bother? Why do I bother? Why?
Am I getting extra actions?
In you go. In you go. Just ruin my life. It's fine. It's fine.
Cool. So
In
3
you go.
attacks.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to Manticore Sting? Is this technically a second encounter, or is it the same?
It's the same encounter, but you can yeah.
That's fine. We'll just do 3 attacks with a natural.
Oh,
2
for
natural. Please.
Really though?
Yeah.
You dead.
Nameless is your winner, ladies and gentlemen, of the of the tournament. I can't. Yeah, I'm not even gonna. just for the sake of the argument, what would he have done? Oh, well, yeah. But he's still dead. He's not dead, but he's knocked out. So you slam forward into him, and you're not about to not win the tournament after you've beaten Androcles. So you just go into him like a madman and slam him against the wall, and then just like beat him with the shield until finally he's unconscious. So Harkin stands and raises his hands for silence, and bades that there is the actual chest, the box brought to him, that he then lowers into the arena, and two slaves open it, and there is an immaculate spear there. It looks like it's like a shard of ice, but with like a metal haft. And as you pick it up, this is pretty powerful. Like you know, feel like you could punch through a wall with this thing. It's not bad. And Winterheart is its name, and I'll give you the stats for it next time around. So next time we come around and we do a bit of thing. One thing we can do is we don't technically need Androcles for the next session. I can do his part of the story in another way. So if you guys are all up for it early next week, we can finish this session off, and then we've got a week until Androcles is back in the room, and then we can start again with the next part, if that's all right with you guys.
Yeah, it sounds fun to me.
Yeah.
Cool.
It'll probably take Androcles that long to recover anyway, so...
Alright, well cheers guys, and I'll speak to you, probably going to be Monday, if that's alright for everyone else. But either way, just let me know, and I can sort it out any other way.
No worries, sounds good.
Alright guys, speak to you a bit later on.
Cheers, guys.
Bye now. Bye.
Bye.
That, yeah.
So that was an interesting one. So the Great Moot, we'll call it the Great Moot Part 1, because we are currently 3 hours and 20 minutes, so it's nearly our longest session already. So we'll be back on Monday evening with the second part of the Great Moot. So we'll speak to you then. See you later.